Welcome to session 2. Oh, there he goes. And it's gone. A Miguel sighting, and now it's gone. It's like a rare Pokemon. So, who's gonna be the delighted person to recap session 1?
What are you paying?
Perhaps a weapon?
Oh.
Good, don't do shit for me.
I will Jess since he watched the game like 4 times. He's got it memorized.
If I get
There
a
he
weapon
goes.
and hit somebody, I'm gonna heal them.
That's not good.
What kind of weapon?
No.
Well, you got it.
That was just an incentive, an empty incentive, actually. So
Yeah, so he lied to us.
I did, as most DMs do.
I never lied to my players. I never lied to them.
What are you talking about? This is false reality, man. It's not real. I'm lying.
It's a lie from the beginning.
There you go. I made everything up. This whole campaign, it's all from my head.
Wait, you're saying Zeros is not real?
I'm saying that Zeros is not real.
And you think Mechanicus this is crazy?
Oh, man.
I'll do like half of it.
All right, cool, whatever.
The
Half a
adventure begins on a dark night. There's like a cabin in the woods where three adventurers go to save a daughter. I forgot a little girl in hopes they would get some fish. Upon the interrogation, they successfully apprehend what should be the criminals, and then find out that 3 more people were being held captive. And then negotiations began. A little bit of stealing. And after that, it's all blank.
So the party
That's like a
splits
safe, bro.
into 2 groups.
Technically 3 if you count Mechanicus was way the fuck back because he's slow.
So Mechanicus, walking towards the main part of the village, is stealing feathers and almost got shot from a farmer. Theo was trying to catch up to May. May made it to a healer to get the little girl's leg fixed. We don't know if she's gonna make it through the night. Hellscream, Meliodas, and Jillian went the other direction that Theo had mentioned about some clothing, and they found a girl who we believe is the butcher's daughter, Anya. They take her, make it back. We all gather up back to the healer. Eugenia's there. She's staying there. We kind of find out that a Wendigo of some sort that Mechanicus had mentioned comes around every so often, eating certain body parts of people. Everybody thought he was crazy and senile, and the healer offered 2 people to stay behind to watch the little girl and her mother, because we were afraid that the 3rd person is going to show up and take her. So May and Meliodas stayed behind, and the rest go to the tavern where they buy fish, lots and lots of fish and alcohol, and a couple rooms. Eventually Meliodas left to go get fish, and May sees a dark figure, and I don't see the figure anymore, and an alarm went off or something went off, so that's where we end up at.
All right, sounds about right. So, Meliodas, as you head your way towards the Salty Sea Hag, which is the inn within Holmesworth, which is the town we're in right now. There's a chill air that remains constant. Constant reminder that the season is going to change soon. What was once a dark but yet vibrant blue begins to darken into a black of night. Thunder rumble, but begins to rumble in the distance. A bolt of lightning crashes from a distance, cracking the sky in two. As you can see, the sky kind of just light up. Jagged flashes of pure white light, casting a glow against the monochromatic black background, I should say. And then a gentle patter of rain begins to resonate. There was a certain rhythm that came with the downpour, and from what you can tell, the rain didn't exhibit no sign of ceasing as it began to cover the streets. As you enter the Salty Sea Hag, go ahead and roll a perception check.
My greatest attribute.
So, with that 8, it took you quite a minute as you walked in to the loud and lively environment of this tavern. As you can see, all the different clan members of Holmesworth partaking in joyous drinks and food, and even some games. As you can see, some of them are just kind of gambling amongst each other. Took you quite a minute, and you got to the point where you saw at least one of your companions, Theo. As I believe Theo at the moment is ordering a room, if I'm not mistaken. That's how we ended last session.
I ordered a room and 2 shots of rum and,
Right.
And some fish.
As you find your friend, you notice the band at the far corner of the room that's pretty much creating this grand environment. You also see Jillian in her on pretty much just chugging away with the hurdy-gurdy that's strapped around her torso as she's just hitting the keys. You didn't see anybody else besides them two, though. Mechanicus, I believe you, at this point, you were also as far as getting service for a room as well, right?
I'd already got my room key. I'm in room number 3.
Okay.
But when I went to leave, Theo was like, "Hey, have a drink with me," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't drink." It's like, "But no, really, you should have a drink with me." And I'm like, "Give me some water." So I sat down at the table.
All right. So Mechanicus is also with Theo then, if I just want to correct that. So you saw the old man that you had met earlier today, as well as your friend Theo. Didn't see your friend Hellscream though. As I remember correctly, Hellscream was actually ordering 2 orders of fish, which I did not end the session with, but he did receive the second order.
Yay.
Hellscream, what were you intending and doing?
So, knowing that my pal Meliodas was sleeping in the other facility, I was gonna stop by, bring him some fish. Was my main intentions, so we can split.
You know, this place is, I would consider, very crowded.
All right.
A lot of things going on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you do a perception check to see if you find your friend Meliodas.
Please tell me my perception is bad. Fuck. Crit fail?
Oh, dude. We're
So-
both blind.
Yes! Actually, that's a good thing.
That's a good
So
thing.
he rolled a
That's
4.
The first time I actually wanted to fail it. So.
I want to make a reminder, since I'm not just the sake of the video. There's no chat box in the overlay, so you guys don't have to. But if you guys want to make a habit of just saying your number, I'm gonna repeat it anyway as I see it. But if you guys say what you roll anyway,
I got you. I rolled a 4.
okay. So with that 4, you get your plates, and you immediately just start walking, pretty much dodging the festive crowd that's the lively festive crowd inside the tavern, and you exit without seeing your friends.
Okay.
Or anybody, pretty much, as far as making you stop, because your goal right now is to meet Meliodas. I'm gonna roll over on the other side from there. One second. I wish this was easier.
Oh, crap. Just ignore that, guys.
No crimes such as refusal to pay for food at a tavern or breaking down doors.
Just ignore that.
All right, I'll read that in a second. That didn't happen. That was supposed to be a whisper.
There you go.
Oh,
God.
there you go. I don't even know where to begin with that.
Damn!
Okay. That's a nice number, though. 5471. All right.
I forgot
And
you did
let me
that.
go back.
Let me see, you got
Oh
one.
Man.
no, I can't scroll.
May. Your eyes scan from within the healer's practice. This is going back to the events of what transpired right before we ended the session. Your eyes are scanning as you pay attention to a couple of things. Your journal, as you take remembrance of, in a sketchful manner of the experience you had earlier today. And occasionally your eyes will also roll over towards the outside the window, I should say, into the streets, as you see a couple of silhouettes as well. Nothing that grabs your attention. You don't recall seeing the torchbearer make his pass to illuminate the street lanterns, as it's pretty dim outside. Your eyes begin to grow accustomed to the dark figures traversing the narrow streets, and your eyes fix upon a still figure. But your journal distracts you as you avert your eyes. In an instant, the figure that you know was once there is gone. As if almost a flash of an eye, so to speak. It would have gotten all of your observation, but then you hear the blasting screech steal your attention. As you hear this ear just shattering noise as also as it not only gets your attention, you can hear Eugenia and Brina kind of make a yelp of kind of just being surprised and being caught off guard, so to speak.
I stand up hurriedly and put my hands to my ears, seeing if that's going to block the noise, but I'm going to make my way towards Eugenia and Brayna.
Okay. Mechanicus, this would last how long again? 10 seconds, if I'm not mistaken? The actual alarm?
Hold on.
Yeah, it's 10 seconds, right? Yeah, at the bottom it says it. The alarm produces the sound of a handbell.
Duration 8 hours.
Duration is, that's the duration of the actual spell before it triggers. The trigger, it it doesn't.
I was going to say 8 hours for that shit, you're crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, so for 10 seconds, you just ear-shattering noise. And you get to Eugenia. Brayna, you can hear her kind of whimpering as she's still kind of in a feverish state with her eyes closed. As you see Eugenia over her, kind of just trying to subdue her, so to speak. When she just kind of looks over at you and glances and what's going on? What is that?
I don't know, but it's kind of stuffed now. This room that we're in, is it just closed off? Are there windows or anything?
Yeah, there's windows. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you something just to give you more of an incentive. It's pretty much. You could see that. It's probably really just more a better example of how this place looks without all that rain kind of covering over it. As you can see, a solid door with a window over it, and you can see like pretty much these stained glass windows. Not really colorful. It's more like like a tinted yellow per se. But there's no light right now inside the shop. Pretty much all the lanterns are off at this point, so it's pretty much very dim. While you can still see what's going on in front of you, and you can see outside as you're kind of looking from within. You see the flash of light that you could only assume at this point is lightning, and you can hear the downpour kind of start sweeping through.
I look to Eugene. I'm like, is she okay? Are you both doing all right? And I'm gonna walk towards the windows and just take a look. Are there any shutters or anything like that I could close on the windows inside?
Not that you can tell, but as you're walking towards the window and as you're kind of looking outside, you see emerge a tall, wide silhouette standing. And it looks like as though this figure is peeking through, trying to get a better look inside the dimly lit building.
I'm gonna get up a little bit closer to the window to see if I can get a clear look at this person.
You could see him kind of put his hand up and get like just pretty much inches away from the glass and just peek through like this. And his figure's dark. It's hard to tell his facial characteristics of the nature of the description, I would say, of this person.
Do the windows look like I can open them?
No,
like push them out?
they don't look. They look pretty much stationary. From behind him, it looks like there's a figure that comes through. Another figure, but from what you can tell, he's more into the light as lightning kind of washes over him, and for a quick second, you can tell it's just what looks like perhaps a drunkard, as you can see him kind of walk in a very lazy manner towards the window. As actually he's walking towards behind the figure that's right in front of the window, and as he does, the darkened figure looks behind, and he grabs them. And as he does, he hurls him through the window. As the window just crashes through. You're right in front of the window?
Unfortunately, yes. So I'd like to dodge that.
Roll in a dexterity save, please.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god, an 8.
As this poor figure flies through... Where the hell is my dice? As this person flies through... And you see this shorter figure just kind of hurl through the window, not only landing up against you, part of the broken glass kind of goes with you as well. You take 5 damage right now, as not only a bludgeoning damage from also slashing, as you got part of the glass coming towards you as well. Hold on 1 second. Did not think that one. As you look up, you see the figure now looking straight into the room, and the lightning crashing behind him. The silhouette's pretty much contrasting behind him, but you get a better view of his face as he pretty much get lit up from the lightning.
Can you re-put that up, please?
Yeah.
I'm gonna close it.
So, as the figure goes through, he's looking through, and you could hear him kind of cackle for a quick second, almost as he's coughing, trying to get his composure after he does that. Little girl, I know you're in there. With that, you hear Brayna behind you scream, high pitch, little girl scream, which I cannot do. I'm not gonna try. And you see, you can see Eugenia at this point also like holding on to her daughter, as she's pretty much in shock and awe and fear just flooding through her as she's looking straight out, staring at this figure, as this figure starts pretty much trying to climb through the window with ease.
Can I shove this guy off of me?
Yeah, he's not even on top of you right now. You're just in prone, looking up as this figure's walking through right now.
I am going to get up as fast as I can, and I'm going to yell out to Eugenia to like get upstairs with. Oh my God, is it Paul? Philip, with Phil.
Okay, as she walks, she gets up. She's trying to carry her daughter, and as she does so, the figure that is in front of the door or in front of the window right now inside the facility, I should say, in the building at this point, he's looking right at the girl. There you are. I can hear your little heartbeats. Come and play with Victor. I miss you. Come on, little girl. And he's walking past you, not even paying attention to you at this point, as he's walking towards Eugenia. Eugenia's frozen right now, and then she takes cover with Brayna pretty much behind one of the counters inside.
Can I grapple him?
Yes, go ahead and roll athletics check, please.
And I do have grapple. Nope, a 9.
All right. Let me open up Victor. And that's a 9.
Yes.
And with this, he shoves you off, and then grabs you by the scruff of your neck as he tries to grab you into a grapple as well, pretty much counteracting. And you rolled a 23 with his next grappling attack, basically towards you, so you can contest the 23 right now.
Okay. So roll another.
Yeah, roll another. This is basically him retaliating from you.
A 7.
And it's a 7. He grabs you by the scruff of your neck, almost like the pretty much the excess cloth or collar, I should say. And he throws you across the room over a counter. You land onto the wall and you crash down. You take another 3 bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground. You feel searing pain like in your back, maybe like something sharp probably kind of just poked right through you as you hear some of the glass, some of the poultice that you know are kind of like in glass jars crash and all over the place, all around you. And you see him just walk methodically towards Eugenia right now, which is in hiding right now. Little girl, don't be afraid of Victor. You know Victor will take care of you, little girl.
How far away is he from me?
He's about 15 feet from you right now as he's looking around, trying to figure out where Eugenia and Brena are hiding, as he's pretty much playing with them.
Do I have a clear shot at him to throw a dart?
Yes, you do.
At 12.
With that, you just see your projectile just kind of sail right above his head, without him even looking. But he looks back at you and looks back around, scanning. Little girl, you don't need anyone here to protect you. You have your dear friend Victor. Please, come out and play. As that Hellscream. You get to the front of the practice and you see the window bashed in. You're about at this point, a good 20 feet away from the window. From this distance, you can't really tell what's going on inside just because of how dim it is. Within the actual the structure itself. But you are an alert since you do see the window just being smashed in.
Seeing the window, I look at my fish and then I look at the window. And then look back at my fish.
Your fish at this point is getting soaked from all the water that's just pouring on you.
So I hastily make my way to the door, just assuming something is wrong.
Alright, yeah, so you go in, the door is locked. But as the door has a small window so you can peek inside, and you can see this figure kind of standing around, and it looks like he's scanning inside. You can see in the corner, you can see May, and look at distress as you can see. She's a little more disheveled since the first time you met her.
Okay. So realizing that the door is locked, I make my way.
You cut out at the end, what do you say?
Seeing that the door is locked, I make my way to the window.
Okay. Alright, so just roll a quick athletics check or acrobatics, whichever one, just to kind of just avoid like the shards of glass, pretty much the jagged glass that haven't gone all through. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
That's cool. Acrobatics work, man.
Works.
You pretty much hopped over it with ease. Right now, you're about a good 20 feet away from this figure, as you see May right now. May, you look back at Hellscream as you can see him just jumping right through. that's gonna be the end of your turn, Hellscream. May, it's on you right now.
I look to Hellscream and I'm like, "You're right. That's Victor. He's after the little girl." And I'm going to run up towards Victor and start attacking him.
All right, so you close the distance. You were 15 feet away from him. What shall you do?
A 9 and a 21.
All right, yeah. So the first one, he takes notice of you, and you see him just kind of just push himself back as he sees your strikes coming through. The first one just grazes through, misses him. The second one is you punch him right in the gut, as you see just this red paste that's kind of around his lips. As you hit him, you see the red paste kind of coming out of his teeth as you get a closer look at him. Doesn't look like blood. It looks as if he was chewing on something, almost like a rabid dog would. And as you punch him in the gut, you just see him, like, his eyes start going towards yours, like as you're right next to him, as he's expecting a fight at this point. And he looks at you and says, "This is how we gonna play, shall we?" And he grabs you again. Roll another athletics check.
A 16.
Or it's up to you as well if you want to roll a acrobatics to avoid it. I'm sorry, I didn't mention that too. But he rolled a 10 as he tries to grab you from your shoulders, and you pretty much just shove his hands off. And then he moves back away from you, which will grant you an opportunity attack if you may do so.
Yeah, I'm going to.
All right, go ahead.
17?
17 hits as pretty much you kick him in the leg as you see him kind of like limp slightly away for 5 damage. Hellscream. You see this happening as soon as you walk in. This hulking figure, you see him distorted face. As you see this figure's face, you have a sense of familiarity as you can tell what type of person this is.
Son of a bitch.
It's 20 feet from you.
So at first I want to ask him in our language, not in common.
All right.
What is the meaning behind this?
He looks at you, and in the same language, one of my fellow brethrens. Only question I can ask is what brings you so far from the homeland? But there's no time for chatting now. As you see him in his fighting stance.
Saying that he's not going to be able to listen. How far am I from him?
20 feet.
So I move 10 feet and strike.
All right. Yeah, as you do so, as you raise your sunrise, I should say, and swing down in an arcing motion, as he tries to dodge it as you catch part of his chest, and then he just kind of looks at you with the side eye. May.
Hold on, I'm not done.
Oh, okay. Specify.
Sorry about that. Like, so since I hit him with the attack, I used of my weapon. Does that hit? 16.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't that supposed to be you're 5 feet or not?
It just says I could post it for you if anything.
Yeah. Now, I know your weapon is 10 feet. I don't know how the feet works though. Like the actual feet.
Holy crap, where is it?
I don't remember. No, it doesn't say.
Yeah, it doesn't say itself.
So the 16 that actually strikes as you catch him with the backside of your was it glaive? Is it?
Halberd.
Halberd, yeah. As you crack him with the blunt side, cracking him against the head. This time he looks a little disoriented as he tries to get his composure back. May, it's up to you right now to retaliate and follow up.
I'm going to strike him again and then use the key point and do flurry of blows.
All right.
24.
Damn.
Oh, there goes a critical.
9 and a 16.
9 and a 16. Absolutely, with the critical as you just run Ombak style with a freaking knee, follow up with like another, pretty much a hook that misses, and then with just straight jab as you see this time not just that red paste coming from him, but you see the crimson of blood start leaving his mouth as he starts wiping it. And he's like, okay, that's how we gonna play, yeah. And he grabs a table and flings it at you.
Damn.
Stop with the abuse!
The table sails above you, crashing against the wall. And he runs and follows up with another attack. This time, as you see his fist pretty much running towards you. With a 16 for the attack. And with an added 5 bludgeoning damage as he follows through. He looks at Hellscream and he starts running towards you. It's your go, Hellscream.
How far is he from me now?
He's about, I'd say, 10 feet still.
Still 10 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see what we can do here. Not much, apparently. What's behind him? Like directly behind him?
Behind him, I'd say 10 feet from him is one of the shop counters. Maybe cot like on the other side of him as well, like another 10, 15 feet or so.
Could I do like a running pin, like to kind of like a charge?
Yeah, if you're gonna run in charge, you could probably pin him against the counter. Actually,
That's exactly what I want to do.
all right. Go ahead and roll athletics. And
Oh, fuck me.
with that 8, you do not beat his 12, as you both kind of almost lock hands at the same time as you come towards him, and then he just kind of brings your hands down, muscling your hands down as he gets close to your face. That's right. Unleash that fury that you have.
And I'm assuming that's my action, right?
Yeah, it's your action. May, as you see both at this point, Victor and Hellscream locking hands, kind of looking at each other right now.
How far am I from him?
You are up. You're up on him right now.
Okay, I'm gonna go in and... How badly hurt does he look?
He looks a little bloodied after that last strike you got. So he doesn't look like he has his full composure when he first emerged. But you can tell he still looks a little bit active. Not sure.
Okay.
You know what? Roll a perception check, to be honest.
13?
Okay, so I'd say since you're this close to him with that 13, it looks as though he's under the influence in something from from your history as far as certain medicinal effects that monks pretty much trained and practice with. You get a sense that this person has a composure where he's definitely under the influence of some sort of drug or some sort of medicinal something. Like it's something is pretty much enhancing him at this point, from what you can tell as well.
Okay, I'm gonna go back in and strike him, and I'm gonna use another key point. So a 21,
All right.
a 9, and a 16.
As you see him locked in with Hellscream, he doesn't notice you as you just come across, whacking him on the side of the head. The second one just barely missing, almost hitting Hellscream, and the last one you just comes across. You hit him in the gut, like it's like you need him or something. As he goes down one knee at this point. He looks over at Yume, and then he tries to look around the room as if still looking for Brena. No, you guys are wasting my time. And he's going to try to push you off Hellscream. He rolled an 8 with athletics as he's trying to push you off of him. Really more like a shove, I should say. Go ahead and roll a athletics on your part. Both of you an 8. As you pretty much both in a stalemate. How's that work?
Your call.
Who wins? I don't even know.
Aren't they still locked then?
The
Yeah.
defender wins the tie.
Who what?
The defender wins the tie.
Yeah, okay. So at this point, I'd say both of you just locked in hands, right? And he tries to release himself from you at that point, but with no effect. It is your turn at this point. Hellscream.
So we're still locked in hands, yes?
Yes, you are.
And it'll take an action just to break that?
Well, if you guys are in a grapple, he has to remove himself from the grapple.
Actually, I want to shove him. See if I can get him pinned against the wall.
Okay. So you want to just pin him down, basically, at this point. Go ahead and roll another athletics. 16.
16.
And he rolls a 20.
Of course he does.
So at this point, he's just pretty much holding his ground. As you're still locked in grapple, but you were unsuccessful in pretty much maneuvering him to a pinned position. May, it's your go again. That's the last thing you do, right, Hellscream? Just want to make sure before I just skip you.
I believe that's all I can do.
All right.
So
I'm charging back into his rib cage and his legs.
All right.
A 12 and a 14.
The 14 hits as you pretty much go for his legs, and you kick the side of his knee, and he just pretty much, you see his knee kind of buckle as he's still kind of trying to take it. That's 4 bludgeoning damage. That's going to be the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right. At this point, unsuccessful again, as he's pretty much trying to get out of the grapple. You see him look at your face at this point. Why Why protect someone that you have no ties to? Is he looking at you, Hellscream?
Why harm someone who is innocent?
And that's gonna be the end of his turn. That's gonna be on you, Hellscream.
So I want to release the grapple.
Okay.
Is that an action or a bonus action?
You know what? I've never heard of anybody releasing a grapple in combat. That is a good question. I'm going to say I would say a free action at this point, since all you're doing is kind of releasing something.
Sweet.
All right.
And after that, I'm gonna strike him.
Okay.
Also saying, "May sunrise strike you down." Well, Dan. About that.
You raise up as you release him, and go for your halberd, and arcing motion, long 10-foot stick as the top portion hooks into the ceiling for a quick second as it almost gets stuck. You know, this halberd wasn't really meant for like this closed environment. And he looks at you with a grin, almost mocking you. You don't have anything else to follow up with that, right?
No. So is my weapon stuck, or is it?
No, it's not. It's just stuck. It's just kind of just you caught onto something, and as it came down, it's not really embedded.
Okay.
I haven't really implemented critical fail rules, so. May. At this point, after your last strike, you could tell he's not looking good at this point.
Yeah, I'm not taking any chances with him.
Okay.
So I'm striking him, and I'm gonna try to get him to buckle. So, a 20 and an 18.
All right. With that, explain how you take him down, I would say, at this point.
I'm going to go up and kick him on the other knee to get him on the ground, and as he gets onto the ground, I'm going to take my elbow and just smash it like right on the backside of his head.
Okay. And as you do so, you see, as you crack him in the side of the head, you see his eyes roll up for a quick second as his knees just slam onto the surface, and he falls forward. And you see him kind of convulse for a second, almost in a seizure. And for a quick second, he just remains still after that.
I'm going to quickly go into my pack and grab some rope, and I am just going to restrain him.
Okay.
And as I'm doing that, I want to look around the room to see if I see Eugenia and Brayna.
As it kind of gets a little more, it starts to quiet down after the pretty much the rustling of melee that you guys were just in. The constant rain in the background, the pouring, still echoes through the room though. But you hear a little bit of a whimper towards the end of the room, and slowly you see Eugenia kind of just peek her head from one of the counters. Is it over? Is it over?
I think so. I believe this is the last person, but I'm not for sure. Just go upstairs to Phil until we figure out what's going on. Just barricade yourself up there with him.
Okay. You see her take Brayna. Brayna, pretty much in one leg. As she's at this point in her awakened state, she still looks pale. Doesn't look very well. And the door opens from the back for a split second. Hellscream and May, I want you both to roll a perception check.
6.
Damn, 6 as well.
You don't see shit.
You do not. Nothing catches your attention. You see Phil in his pretty much in his nightwear that you had seen him previously. He comes out and he's looking. He's like, "What's all this noise? What's going on here? What?" And he's looking at May and Hellscream and in the dark. Well, actually, he has a lantern, so at this point, he's kind of illuminating the area. And he looks at Eugenia. What's the meaning of this?
We told you, as stated, that somebody was probably after Brayna still. And I kind of like kick Victor. He's the one that was after Brayna.
As he walks towards you and walks towards the laid out invader, I should say, and he puts his hand towards him and he kind of brings him over just to see a better look at Victor. Oh dear, as he looks at his face, this mangled face. Now you can see even more clear. As you can tell, this person has this not particularly like scars. It looks more like a deformity of his face, looking as if though in a scar-like motion, in a scar-like pattern, I should say. Who is this? You said Victor?
That is what he went by, yes.
Oh my dear. This is ridiculous. Where are the guards when you need them? Eugenia, please, upstairs in my room. Take her. And he's like leading Brayna and Eugenia towards the back of the room. Look, I could only ask of you to take care of this if you have the chance. I'll be right back. And you see him kind of disappear with them. Hold on 1 second.
Can I check Victor, like, if there's any markings, like tattooing on him, and just check his pockets and stuff? Because I want to see if I can find any of that medicinal herbs or just anything with importance.
Sure, go ahead and make a investigation check.
A 4.
As you're there patting, looking through all his stuff, the only visible thing that you see on Victor is what looks like a coin purse, but no no jingle or rattling of coins of any kind, of any sort. It's more of like a soft padding within it.
I'd like to check to see what's in it.
Okay, yeah, sure. You open through, and it looks as though there's this red powder inside. It looks like it's been perhaps something that was grounded into fine red powder.
have I seen anything like this? Do I know what it is?
You know what? Go ahead and roll a survival check. Actually, nature? No, nature.
Is it nature?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
A 3.
You could use well, you had rolled a 9 previously, yeah. But, there's in the monastery. There's definitely like a apothecary that would have different types of medicinal stuff. But you take no notice of what this substance could be as you're looking at it. As you look at it, though, it's a very crimson looking powder. It's almost fine, like flour, almost like how fine flour is.
I look to Hellscream and I just kind of show him my hand. Like, have you seen this stuff before?
In my travels, would I?
Go ahead and roll a nature tech as well, if that's the case.
Well, damn.
Well, damn.
18.
Yeah, I see that. Where is my shape? Give me 1 second, I just had it. So this definitely takes curiosity as you look at it. It reminds you of an herb called Sanilla. It's a toxic plant that are found in various regions. Lots of the I should say the marauders that you have ran through in the past had doses of this, and they used for consumption, like oral consumption, and from your knowledge, they become very feral, and almost almost in the sense of where their strength is heightened, even their overall toughness. But you know that it comes with a penalty, like with a price, where it can severely. You've heard of previous users going into some sort of
like cardiac arrest or some shit.
I would say the fact that it would affect your mind, for one thing, and seizures would be something that comes along with that from your history of seeing that.
Just seizures?
Yes.
That doesn't seem like a high price to pay.
Going back to the inn. Sorry, guys. I have a shit ton of windows open. I'm trying to figure out how to do this shit. Theo, Meliodas, as you're with Theo and Mechanicus at this point, and you came in for what? Fish?
Fish. We're now at the window looking out.
Okay. Oh, you guys were pretty much RPing on emotes. So that's one thing I forgot to mention. Just try to keep, we're gonna try to keep that in a minimum, just for actually. I feel like we miss out on certain RPs when you guys do it verbally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
We'll just react it. That's
yeah,
fine.
exactly. I feel like I always like seeing you guys go through the RP instead of you guys running out, more so.
You got it.
So at this point, you guys are just hanging out, eating, I guess, the fish at this point. I don't know. I'm trying to catch
Theo
up. What you guys
scolded me, and I was like, "It's no big deal, you know." And he's like, "All right, let's go look out the window."
Because you guys left. Oh, because you left.
Yeah.
Right. I said, what are you doing?
Mechanicus, what are you doing at this point?
He
Well,
wa-
before Meliodas would have came to me, I actually was going to go sit with Mechanicus to give him present the shots I got. Maybe we could RP that before Meliodas.
Okay. So at this point, Theo, you do have your drinks, and Mechanicus was with you. Not too. Yeah, it was pretty much right next to you while you were doing so.
Well, don't seem to have any water, which I find very fascinating. But there is some rum, and I'd appreciate it if we share a drink and have a talk.
That will be fine. And he reaches over and takes the drink. He looks at it, smells it. Oh. Okay, first, a toast.
A toast.
To friends, long dead and gone. And then
Friend.
he takes the drink and holds it out. You know how, like, they'll pour out for dead people, you know? So he holds it out and he keeps pouring, and you see, like, slowly he's pouring the entire cup onto the ground. He looks over at you and goes, I have a lot of friends that are dead and gone. And then he takes the empty glass and sits it on the table.
For my old homies.
That is a waste of rum, but also an interesting culture.
I drink my shot. To friends.
As you're doing so, you hear these the patrons inside. Oh, you sack of shit! And he bumps right behind you, Theo. You hear him just kind of start just ranting. One of these days, I'm gonna catch you, cheat. And when I do, I'm gonna cut those fingers off of you. And the guy just walks away. And as you look at this, this was, I'd say, one of the sailors. You can tell, pretty shoddy, ragged dressing as he was walking away, and you can see now as he clears the view, you see this this gentleman just kind of nonchalantly just like sitting on the table, pretty much shuffling cards with a smirk on his face as he sees this drunkard walk away.
The guy who bumped into me just kind of went away.
Yeah, you just see him walk away as he pretty much made a scene of perhaps this fellow patron cheating him.
Do I see anyone else playing with him, or is or he's just playing cards by himself, or he
Just ended
up playing?
Yeah, he was just playing with the guy. You could see him. He's kind of just shuffling the cards as he's kind of just like sitting back on the beam actually, and he's just pretty much shuffling cards back into a deck. While this is happening, you start hearing other rowdy patrons pretty much what looks like two of them being surrounded by a couple of them as they're both engaging in a wrestling match with the arms, that is, arm wrestling match. As you hear some of them start calling out numbers as far as if they were bidding to see who would win.
Seems the kind of group that only marvels in wasting time and energy.
I look at the guy playing cards. And I'm like, so you're playing? Are you gambling here? Trying to make some money?
You see him shuffle them back into the deck. Well, aren't we all trying to get by with a little bit of what we have? And he just brings up his drink and he takes a sip. Do you perhaps want to take a gamble and risk a little bit of fun? As you look at this gentleman, he looks well dressed. He has a chin strap, kind of a tan feature, which you feel a little at home as you see this person.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I was like, he looks familiar. He looks like he could be someone I might know, maybe.
As you look at him, you don't recognize him, but you can tell he's definitely perhaps part of the Sunni.
Okay.
Jillian, you still chugging away at your hurdy-gurdy? That's what's happening?
Yes, but I'm also scanning the crowd to kind of like find a game to jump into.
Okay. Yeah, so as you're there, if you pretty much closed up for the night, you could see pretty much patrons partaking in other tables, partaking in cards, and gambling in cards, and then just this one section of the tavern where there's two pretty much being a highlight, where you see this crowd gathering around them as two of them are pretty much battling each other with arm wrestling. And Meliodas, you're looking out the window at this point, right? You're saying?
Just like leaning next to the window,
Okay,
watching the crowd.
Okay, you just pretty much the crowd, as you see the downpour coming down, you see trickles of water kind of running through, silhouettes passing back and forth. You're not exactly across the street, it's more of a diagonal, but go ahead and roll a perception check anyway from where you left May.
A 10?
Yeah, with that 10, it's very difficult to actually get a grasp on nothing more than just the water that's kind of trickling down, and some of the silhouettes, like I said, you can see passing by.
So you know what those guys arm wrestling? Are they all focused on the arm wrestling itself?
Absolutely, you could see some of them just shouting, pretty much one of the names. Let's say, Wilfred! Mon Wilfred! Make me some money! To see one guy just holding some, like a coin purse right now as he's shouting.
Oh, alright. So there are a couple of coin purses visible, right?
Absolutely, at this point.
Alright, so I'm just gonna make my way through them, like, casually, and then pat them on the back, like, yo, I was waiting, hey, how's it going? And I'm gonna try to swipe a couple of coin purses.
Alright, go ahead and roll a sleight of hand.
Jeez! Let me. Oh!
Nice!
Ooh. Like an art form. Jillian and Theo, you get a glimpse of this because he was pretty much around the area where you guys were sitting. Mechanicus, I'd say probably saw him get up, but like in a true art fashion, you see Meliodas pass by one of the patrons, bump him as if nothing happened. He looks at him. Oh, I'm sorry, and you just pretty much like cleaning him up, like dusting off his shoulders as right after you passed by him and bumped into him, and just walk away. You leave the guy with 27 silver less than he had just seconds ago.
Yes.
Damn.
And Mechanicus, you see the old man. I'm sorry, not the old man. You see the man that's on the table that Theo was speaking with. What he was wearing around his neck catches your attention now. It looks like a. It looks as though it was a bronze. Sorry, is it bronze? Yeah. A copper chain that a guild member would have had.
So, seeing that, Mechanicus, who for the last couple of minutes has been using a chicken feather to sweep the salt loose on the table up into a nice little pile so he could drop it into his bag, looks over. Excuse me, dear sir, but where might have you come by that medallion?
Ah, you recognize it? Well, I won it off an old man such as yourself. He wasn't too happy when he lost, but that is the rule of the game, yes?
I understand. In what game might that be?
Ah. Well, it's a game of cards of your choice, of course. Perhaps a game of Gambit's Chance? Or perhaps Kings and Queens. Kings and Queens is it's pretty much Texas Hold'em here, guys, by the way.
Okay. It looks like we have a game that we can all play.
Jillian wants to get into these games.
Well, he looks at Theo. Jillian, at this point, you're kind of just walking up to what's happening right here. And you see this well-dressed gentleman just sitting on the table, conversing with Theo and Mechanicus. The Mechanicus, as you're speaking with this gentleman, he actually looks at you. I'm surprised you recognize the jewelry. I'm assuming you know where it originates from, yes?
Do I know whose medallion that was?
Looking at it, you don't know who it belongs to, but you know it's definitely within one of the factions in, or one of the chapters within the guild itself. It belongs to a man within this very town. Actually, he lives, I believe, not too far from the tavern itself. He comes occasionally, but I have not seen him for a couple of weeks, actually. Well, any of you perhaps want to take a chance in winning or losing? I play fair. Don't mind the obscene drunkards that pass by here.
How much attention does it seem like people around me is paying attention to Mechanicus?
Go ahead and roll a perception check, just as you glance around. You really can't tell from what you can tell, from what you see. It looks as everybody is pretty much minding their business from your perspective.
So it didn't feel like anybody's watching me or anything like that.
Yeah, you're really unsure, to be honest. As far as you can tell, everyone looks as though they're minding their business.
What division or section of the guild is the copper? Would I know that?
Yes. As you look at the copper, you know it's one of the learners within the guild. It's actually it's one of the guild members that actually go out and teach nobles of history and the past, and pretty much someone glorified tutor, for instance.
So, well, I guess let's just see. Hold on. Somebody's got something, y'all can do it.
Some what?
Alright, my Canicus just looks to him, reaches into this little sack on his back and his belt. He pulls out 5 copper pieces. This is all I have. We could play for this if you would like.
For 5 copper pieces, my friend, I can barely get myself some water, which they do not serve here, unfortunately.
I know, it is quite strange.
Yes, it's perhaps the only way to keep the sellers here in tuned and drunk enough to buy some more.
What is your wager then?
Why don't we start with 5 silver?
Jillian flops down 5 silvers and she's like, "Deal me in."
All right.
You shall be resumed.
Do I see this going on too?
Yes, you do see your friends go on.
I want to join too.
Let's party. As Jillian sees you walking up, she's gonna wink at you for that amazing roll earlier.
Oh, nobody saw it happen. It was like magic. Nobody saw the ease. So,
She's still winking.
the ruse is fairly simple. You draw a card, I draw a card, and then we put wager down. You may fold, or you may raise, call the bet, and once you do so, we deal one more card, and we may want to resolve whatever bet or wager we might want to put after that. The highest cards win.
As an FYI, out of character, I do not know how to play any kind of poker in real life.
It's not poker. This
or
is,
any kind of card games.
This is called.
Except for Magic.
This is called a Gambit of Ord. A familiar card game from where I came from. Theo, you know what this game is. Basically, it's one of the main games that most of your fellow countrymen play, gamble in. So,
All right.
5 silver to buy in, and then he deals you a card. Hold on 1 second.
So while he's dealing, all of a sudden my Canicus starts slapping the back of Theo. Oh my goodness! Where did all of these bugs come from? It's like he's brushing his shoulders off and stuff.
All right, so I want to give you a
What
heads up,
bugs?
Misty. If you look down at your name, you should see a little card with a 1 on it. Just click on it. Once you click on it, I can't see what you're doing, by the way. Once you click on it, you could see your number. Or your card, I should say. Don't say it. Because right now you're pretty much playing against me, right?
What is going on?
What?
It's cool.
This is neat.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, I found this out. This whole... we can literally play poker in this damn thing. I didn't know that.
You
can
just
play-
totally cut out.
Oh, of course. I was saying, I didn't know that, but you could play poker in this bitch. It's fucking amazing. You can literally straight up play poker on Roll20. And among other things, too. Anyway. What?
It's cool.
You got your card. I got mine. Let's say we wager another silver piece. Shall we?
So is my card supposed to be higher than your card?
That's, yeah, exactly. But it's basically the 2 higher cards. You want to get the 2 higher cards basically at the end. So this is the first wager. The first bet, I should say. And then I'm gonna deal another card, which is gonna be high or low again, and then you can choose to either keep going. Right now, you can either fold, or you can pretty much put more, or just call what I'm putting down, which is 1 silver. Do it. No, you pretty much whatever you want to do.
I guess I'll put down another silver.
Okay. So
When
right
she
now,
does that, Mechanicus starts like stomping on the ground and like rubbing his feet like he's killing shit. And as he does so, he sticks his thumb and his index finger into this little bag and pulls out this small vial, popping it open and getting this little flea between his fingers.
What is that you have, young man?
I don't know. It's just look, and he holds up the little flea. There's bugs everywhere. Do not see them. Look. He starts pointing at the ground to make Theo look down.
I don't. Do I see any bugs?
We can't hear
Do
you.
I see? What do I see? Do I see bugs?
Christian, your mic's dead.
oh shit, my bad. No, you don't see. He looks crazy.
Okay.
You don't know what's his issue at this point, as he's kind of stomping around. Hold on 1 second.
What bugs, man?
My God.
Do not see it. He's holding a bug like this. You see a little black speck between his fingers. It looks like a flea. You see it. They're all over your boots. Look.
Do you take care of your grandfather? As he looks at you, Jillian. You know, you look quite young to play such gambling games, and don't want you to lose your pocket money.
I'll be fine. Grandpa's fine. We're fine. Let's do this.
Okay. As he
makes you
goes towards
think-
his card, he's dealing one more card towards you, and he's deals another to himself. What was that you said?
I was gonna say. I was gonna respond to the stranger.
What makes you think she will be losing?
Well, where I come from, I come from a family of, I should say, with the most luck, which has gotten me this far.
You seem very sure of it.
I am very sure, my friend. He looks down at his card, and then he looks back at you, Jillian. Why not we raise again 3 silver? Right now, the stakes is there's 12 silver on the table. His 5, your 5, and the 1 and 1.
I still don't know the rules, so
You just have to have higher cards. It goes down from 2 all the way to 10, and then you have the Jack, Queen, King, and Ace, which is the highest.
sure. 3 more silver.
All right. All right. So you put down 3 more silver as he does as well. As you see him throw it down on the table.
Julian, she looks at him and she's like, even when I lose, I always win, and gives him a wink.
Mechanicus sticks his head under the table and he's like, where are all these books coming from? And he's like half under the table, and as he is so, assuming this guy is gonna cheat, he mumbles a little something and wiggles his fingers, and I am gonna cast Infestation on this guy.
Oh my god. Please remind me what Infestation does.
I'm gonna cast it. Hold on, I'm trying to find it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright. So he has to roll a dice check of 13.
Assume if that's what it said.
Yeah, cause a cloud of mites and fleas. Alright. He rolled a 3.
Okay.
How big is it?
I'm telling you, there are bugs all underneath this table.
So he gets okay. He gets 1 poison damage, and what was the 4? Direction moved. He moves.
He moves in a random direction. Because he's infested with mites and shit now.
All right. This is what happens. He's about to reveal his cards. As he does so, you see his face kind of twitch for a quick second. What? And he looks down. And when he looks down, he starts seeing mites start crawling all over his arm. And he's like, what is this? And he gets up in a manner of almost tipping the table over as everything scatters all over the place. You see the coins pretty much running, like just bouncing in every direction right now as he's there putting himself out, like almost like as he's in fire, where he's patting himself, screaming, ah! Oh! What?
As that's
is
happening,
this?
I yell out, "Bar fight!" And I just run out the door.
He's pretty much gets up, slams into another table full of the clansmen. The clansmen look at him, they grab him, and start you see fist starts flying. The other table across, they hear fight as they erupt into the other table. You see 2 whole clans going at it right now, as some of them you can see being tossed over tables. You see bottles being broken over other people's heads. You see mugs just flying across the tables, across the whole tavern actually. There's just a large, chaotic moment where everyone just stops doing what they were doing and just go into a frenzy of just fists and just drunken stumbleness. It becomes chaos.
As a small being, I would like to scurry around picking up all those silvers.
Go ahead and roll a perception check because they scattered everywhere as you're trying to find them right now.
Mechanicus pops out from under the table and he's kind of brushing himself. They're on me as well. Check yourself, sir.
You find
I'm laughing outside like really hard.
you find I'd say about 8 of the 12 that were on the table. Oh, not even 12. It was a little bit more. I'd say it was like what, 12, 13, 15, it was 18 actually. I'd say you found more than half. Let's say about 10. You found about 10 silver as they went scattering all over the place. You see Jillian like skipping like a little girl, like just picking silver off the floor as everyone's going fucking chaotic and just throwing punches. You see the barkeep. He kind of just does one of these. As you see him like behind the counter, and he just starts going underneath the counter, like trying to avoid everything. As he slowly just descends out of view.
So how bad did I actually lose that game?
I'm sorry.
How bad did I actually lose that game?
I don't know. You didn't reveal.
How do you reveal?
Okay, so this is what you do. So just for the sake of like knowing how to play the game. So if you open up, you see your cards, right? You can see what numbers you have. Okay, click and drag any card and drag it right onto the table and you should see it. And I had an 8 and a 10. That's what he had. And you had a 9 and a 10, so you would have won. There you go.
Damn.
Nice.
Damn it, old man!
You would have won anyway. You would have won 18.
At this point, Mechanicus starts like waiting, like oblivious to the bar fight. He's just kind of like walking through the bar, trying to get to this gambler who's like being beat up by the people. And when he gets to him, he just looks down and he grabs the medallion from around his neck.
The chain, yeah, the chain.
And
Grab the chain.
starts pulling it off, saying, "This is a sign of a real man, not some piece of riff-raff gambler." And then I'm gonna pop him in the head with my quarterstaff.
Go ahead and roll an attack.
God, healing income.
With advantage, because he's being held by he's being tossed back and forth by multiple oh my god. All right, okay. Yeah, with two hands,
21.
I'm assuming, right? 21.
Crit.
Wait, that's a 21 overall damage.
21 crit for 8 damage.
Okay, for 8 damage. Yeah, so as he's being led, and as soon as you clock him over the head, you see him his eyes roll back, and he just passes out. As you see him, pretty much being tossed around. As you do so, you see the medallion just easily just comes off of him, as you see everyone just kind of chaotically grappling each other. At this point, it's starting to get a little crazy as you see some people pulling knives, and you see one of the patrons holding onto their gut, where it's blood coming out of his hand as he's holding onto his stomach. It's oh.
Mechanicus just grabs it, sticks it in one of his pockets, and then just wades through this fight, completely oblivious to the fight. Just walks right down.
And if someone that's not even partaking in this giant melee, and if they look over at Mechanicus, you see this old man just slowly walking through this fray of insanity that's going on around him. It's almost like he's walking in slow motion as everything around him is just going in this chaotic spectrum of madness, I should say. And we're gonna
once he gets back to Theo, he just looks to him. "You may want to get out of here before you get the bugs as well. I'm going to bed." And he looks back. "Don't let the bed bugs bite." And then go into room.
Yeah, Theo, has seen all this happening, was kind of just watching everything, against the wall, just staying, making sure that his back, was always, protected, and just kind of around the perimeter of all of that's happening, and kind of goes to the stairs where he meets up with Mechanicus, and he tells him that.
All right. Meliodas, you said you left, right?
Yep, I'm running back to tell Hellscream what happened, laughing.
Okay, so you left the salty sea head. You left it in, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay, dude. And Jillian, you're pretty much amidst the chaos, but so tiny that nobody really takes notice of you. as you're just walking through. All right.
I'd like to pickpocket everybody, but I think that'd take too much time.
Oh man.
It's a perfect time, though.
Yeah. As we come back to the man, I really gotta start organizing my fucking audio here. There's so much stuff everywhere. Nope, that's not the tone I'm looking for.
Yeah, same thing.
So we're back at the practice. Hellscream and May, as Phil leaves you on the floor as he takes Eugenia and Brayna towards the back, and you can see as they disappear and go towards the confines of where he lives in the overhead above the next floor. And you're standing over the body of Victor as he had introduced himself when he entered the premises.
Just to be clear, Victor's still alive, right?
You don't know. Did you check?
I'd like to check on that first, please.
All right, and go ahead and make a medicine check. Just to see, pretty much you're just going towards him at this point, and you're checking his pulse.
I thought that 19 was mine for a second.
As you get next to him, kneel down, and put your fingers towards his neck, see if you get a pulse. But you don't find any.
Alright, so seeing that, I tell May what exactly was the powder, and if she wouldn't mind letting me hold on to it, telling her all the consequences it comes with, its traits.
How about I give you half of it? Because I'd actually like to test some out. Not on myself, but with other herbs and stuff.
That's fair.
All
I'll
right.
let you hold on to the pouch.
Right before you stop, May, are you an herbalist? Do you have a?
Yes.
Okay.
I have an herbalist kit. Mm-hmm.
Okay. If I would have remembered, I'm sorry. It's my fault. I would have given you an herbalist check to figure out the substance instead of the nature, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I'm just gonna dig in my pack and I'm just gonna show you like my kit. I'm like, if you need it or anything like that, just leave enough for me to like mess with it, and then I just show you putting it into my little herbalism kit. And as I'm doing that, I look to you, Hellscream. I'm like, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you know who this guy was? You were talking in some language and he understood you.
I don't want to say that I knew him, but I know of, if that makes sense.
Could you elaborate?
He's from a place that's not from here. Quite far. Just like I. So, I didn't expect to see his kind within these parks.
What is his kind? I mean, are they everywhere? Is this something that they do everywhere else? Attack little girls and eat them? Or whatever it is that they do?
The eating part I'm not aware of, but attacking the innocent is more or less within their nature.
Alright. Well, who wants to go try to find a guard?
I don't believe this is the duty of a guard. I'd rather we handle this ourselves.
Alright. So what do you think we should do?
I can't seem to find the pulse on the man. Is the girl okay?
Her mother took her upstairs to Phil. I'm assuming that they're going to be fine with him. At least they're on the second floor.
Alright, well, since I rolled the check on the powder, is this something that, like, an average traveler would be able to create, or would it have to be, like, an actual, like, a botanist, quote-unquote?
You know of the plant, but it takes a lot of preparation to get to this point of reducing it down to this powder like substance.
So your average person wouldn't know how to do this.
Right. Now, from your experience, the plant itself is potent enough for you just to take the plant and eat it. But in this powder form, it's most.
It's
potent.
like turning Coke into crack. Is basically
it's its
what
most
you're telling
potent. Yeah, it's its most. Yeah, if you want to get
me. Like
you wanna
into
get
the
towards
drug
it,
term.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So knowing this, I share the knowledge with May, and next I ask if she's okay since he was there before I got there.
I think I'm okay. I kind of haven't had a beating like this in a while. I'm gonna go over to Victor and I'm gonna check to see if he has a pulse.
Alright, go ahead and roll medicine.
Damn!
23.
What was that?
That's a huge bitch!
Oh, 23.
Yep.
Yeah, you get to him, and you start checking his neck as you put your hands around, feeling, see if you can get some sort of pulse. But as you're pretty much examining him at this point, you notice that his eyes are still rolled all the way back, as you kind of just like doing your normal checks to see if someone's consciousness is still with them. And you notice that his eyes are rolled all the way back. Spider veins of red, just pretty much all over them. And you also notice that it looks like his tongue is almost towards the back of his throat as you're kind of just checking him.
So, is he laid down, like face down, or is he like faced up? What position is he in?
He was face down originally when he fell. But
So
at this point, she turned him over as she's examining him.
So he's on his side?
Right now, yeah, per se, yeah.
Alright. Just for seizure purposes, obviously, that's the correct way of doing it, but...
So I feel like he is still alive somehow.
You don't find a pulse. You think he at this point, whatever he was under, perhaps took his life.
Damn shame.
In a sense, yeah, but I don't know. I think he deserved a little bit more before going out just like that. I didn't think I was going to hit him that hard.
But yeah. I mean, you already found that. My bad. No, never mind. I already told you what you found from him.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mind me.
Okay, so in seeing this, May, if you wouldn't mind checking on Brainy upstairs, I'll stay with the body to make sure it just doesn't move.
Alright.
And keep an eye on the old man.
I give you a quizzitive look. Why?
Can't trust everybody.
Alright. I go by the door and pick up my sword and attach it to my side, and then I'm gonna go upstairs and knock on the door.
Dead
Can't
Mike.
hear you.
Still dead. Unmute your ass, damn it. There you go. Unsuccessfully.
Hellscream. Go ahead and roll a perception check from where you are.
Yeah, motherfucker. 20.
Okay. We'll keep that in mind for a second. I'm gonna put a little pin on that for a quick second here. May, as you're walking up, as you pass the back entrance, actually it's the back door that leads upstairs, and you get to the top of the stairs. Basically, you give a little knock. No immediate response. Go ahead and roll a perception check as well as you do so.
8.
Okay. As you stand there and get no immediate response, you know what? What would you do from that? From this point on, actually.
I would try to open the door.
Okay. And how so? How do you approach it?
First I'll just try it normally. Just see if the door is unlocked and just push the door open.
Okay,
If it's not open, I'm kicking the door down.
All right. So you take the handle, you turn it, and it's open. You see it slowly just creaks open. It's dark inside, actually. You don't see any source of light. About the same dim light that you were just in the main floor. And as you open the door, you see the first immediate room, and a door to your right.
Keep cutting in and out, so I just
Oh, I'm
missed
sorry.
first room and then a door, and that was it.
Yeah. So as you open the door, it's dim light. You can see the normal furnished pieces, basically laid out thoughtfully in the room. No one in the general area, or nothing catching your immediate attention. You do see another door as further through, though. Further on, you see another door.
I want to go ahead and unsheath my sword and slowly make my way to the other door.
Okay. Hellscream, you heard a thud above you. Not so much like if someone's walking, but more as if something big dropped onto the floor.
Now, by above me, like the floor above me, or
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's what I meant. I meant like the ceiling, as if the floor above you had something fall, something big enough to make a pounding noise.
Does this like make me unsteady? Does it?
It catches your attention. About that.
So, knowing the situation and thinking it smartly, I kind of think maybe this guy wasn't alone. So I actually shout out to May to hurry.
Okay. I mean, you hear him say hurry. You can hear his like voice echo basically towards you.
Then I just run towards the other room.
Okay. So you run towards the other room. You see the door slightly jarred open. You gonna just bash right through it?
Yeah.
Okay. As you run towards the door, you're gonna basically just bash the door open. You see at this point another room. It looks like a bedroom. You see Eugenia on the floor. At this point, she looks as though unconscious, laying right next to the bed, where you see Brena laying down. It looks like she's unconscious as well. And for a quick second, you see two glowing orbs. What looks like orbs for eyes kind of reflect back at you as this figure. It's not huge figure, more of about your height. And then the glowing orb kind of just disappears almost instantly as it glares at you, and you see the form of you can see who it is. It's, as far as Phil, kind of just looking back at you. Well, you caught me here in a surprise here. Well, I guess you caught me red-handed.
Oh, so I was right, motherfucker.
I'm like, what are you? And I'm just kind of edging my way closer to Brena.
Brenda's kind of like almost behind him at this point.
Oh,
Where
okay.
where he's positioned. He's looking at you. Well, I thought with my unsuccessful henchman, Victor, perhaps, would take the heat off of me, but I guess I might have to take care of other business myself. As he lunges towards you, and as he does so, he disappears, almost like mist passing by you. Hellscream, what do you do at this point?
So, knowing that something is kind of wrong, we're still not for sure certain that Victor's dead, right?
From what you did, from what your check, you think he's dead.
Even after what May had explained?
Yeah.
So I actually want to take my halberd and pierce his hand through the floor to almost like keep it stuck.
Okay.
And start making my way upstairs.
All right, so you just look down at Victor and just take your halberd and just go whoosh, and you see just his hand just get pierced through. He's not moving. He just stays there on the ground. Nothing, no reaction from that.
And I start making my way upstairs.
Okay, so you start
I'm bolting
towards the stairs. Meliodas, as you're walking through this cold, chilled, rainy, wet street, and you happen to get right in front of the practice. You see a window being shattered through. You see what looks like there was a struggle inside as you get closer.
So I'm unsheathing both my rapier and short sword and kind of proceeding through the door cautiously.
Okay. You
Going out.
unsheath. As you do so, you see the body of this mangled figure with a large halberd that you're familiar with sticking from the ground through his hand.
Good job, Hellscream. I kick it just to make sure if it's dead.
You just kick this limp body and no reaction. Just it shifts for a quick second as you do so.
And I kind of yell out, "Hello, Hellscream, buddy, you're missing out a good fight." And I'm just like scanning the area.
May, as you see this, we see what you thought was just a normal situation at first, where you saw Phil and you saw these glowing orbs for eyes, and then you see him disappear in front of you as you're kind of just scanning about. What are you doing at this point as you're just looking about?
I am trying to heighten my senses and just be on guard. I'm thinking that Phil is just gonna pop up somewhere, so I'm trying to like listen for him.
Okay. Go ahead. So you want to do a perception check, basically? You want to see if you can figure out where he's at?
Yeah.
Okay.
A 3.
A critical failing 3.
Critical fail. No, not just a 3. It's a critical fail 3. Yeah, you're just scanning about. Your eyes are all over the place as you're just kind of hesitating right now, not sure what's going on. You think you hear something, but then you think your mind is kind of playing tricks on you, and you're just scanning about. We're gonna take a break right now, actually, since we're just gonna go for a bio break, guys. We're gonna hold off there.
All right.
Yes, please.
Okay.
5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 to 10. Grab a
All
snack.
Cool.
Be right back.
No, on break.
I sound like a pig when I'm eating, so I'm muted.
What
But you said you
is that?
muted.
It's not me. Make it release my appetite.
What the? Is somebody being murdered by a cow or pig over there?
I don't
What
even
the
know what
fuck?
the fuck that is.
That sounds tasty.
Never heard him earlier.
Huh? What? Second session and we already have a fucking full-on bar fight.
Take that.
So tempted to stop the bar fight with a shot to the roof.
Oh, some of them are carrying flintlock pistols and shit, so
Yeah.
you never know what might
would've
happen.
Right.
Simple bar fight turns into a bloodbath.
About what time is
That's
it?
it.
What was that?
About what time is it?
I'd say an hour had passed, so it's about you think maybe
Early
like
evening?
9 o'clock ish.
That's perfect time for him to go to bed.
It's night time.
It is a little late right now. I'm asleep. I have to be up by 3:45.
God. Just to take my first piss. Out of multiple pisses throughout the night. Just like my grandpappy used to do. Alright. I think everybody's probably ready. I don't know if Misty is. Looks like she's conversing with herself. I'm conversing myself as I stroke my hair. Tell that motorcycle to shut up.
Man, it's always Fridays and Saturday nights. It's a bunch of douchebags. Cause I'm near a park, so like I think they can get away with speeding near my house.
Yeah. You still living in the same apartment building, right?
Not in Astoria anymore. I'm in West 207th Street.
Oh
I'm in
shit, you moved?
Yeah,
Nice.
much bigger apartment.
Awesome.
Sure. Yeah.
It's cool, man.
Yeah. Thanks.
No, a little,
We have a
little,
guest room.
yeah, little apartment you had though was really homey though. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it did its job at the time. More crap you gather, more space you need. That's
Yep.
fair. You're
Yeah,
trying
tell
to-
me about it.
Yeah, you know.
All right, I think everybody is here. Misty, you're here. You're back. Yeah.
I am.
Cool. Let's bring it back to what the hell?
Back to life.
I really have to start organizing my music. There's so much shit everywhere from my previous stuff.
Make playlists and use them as folders.
I have a
Jillian is
shit
upside
ton of
down.
folders, dude. That's the problem. I have a lot of folders. Lots of folders. Yes. Yeah, sorry about that. I feel like I'm just kind of slow it down a little bit while I'm looking at all my damn stuff here. Yeah.
Hey, you have you guys can see folders?
Yeah, well, I'm on a DM's perspective. We can
On
see a lot of
DMs,
stuff. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I was like, I only got 3 things here I could click on. Missing out.
All right.
Jillian's upside down.
Wait, what? Oh yeah, her
Jillian's icon.
token. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, I know who did that.
Oh, I see. You can do it yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yep. But you trying to headbutt me? Oof.
Man, there are some freaking stuff that I know I
I was
should
just
have.
nodding at you. Good day, sir.
Good day.
Okay, so bringing it back to the second floor of the individual that you know as Phil. May you scan your eyes, hard to fix at one point as you're shifting left and right, looking all over. No sign. No sign of who or what Phil is. You see the unconscious form of Eugenia on the floor beside you. And further on, you see the small unconscious form of Braina as well. She's fixed on the bed, which you assume perhaps belonged to Phil. What do you do?
I'm going to make my way to Brina.
As you walk towards Braina, you see very faint movement, short breaths coming from her. You look at her visually. She looks alive.
Can I try to wake her up?
Sure. What do you do as you get towards her? She's laying. Her eyes are closed. It's a dim, very dim light, so it's hard to really see much of her features, if you would.
I'm going to grab her shoulders gently and just kind of shake her, just like, Brina, wake up.
Okay. You see her move, her head kind of very loose and giving you slack as you kind of moving her pretty much her ragdoll body just not really responding. But you hear small moans coming from her as if perhaps like she's in pain.
Can I do a check to see what's actually wrong with her? Like, do I think that she's kind of like drugged out?
In the dim, the nature of how dim the room is, I'm gonna say it's gonna be at a disadvantage because you can barely see what's going on. You can barely see any features. You could just see shades of gray at this point.
Okay.
not so much. Whereas you can't see the form of someone, but you barely see their features.
All right.
So you may do so at a disadvantage.
Medicine.
What is it you're trying to accomplish again?
I wanted to see like what's kind of making her this kind of like ragdoll. Like when I had her, she was kind of fine. She was just running a fever.
Right.
She kind of sounds like the way you're describing it, like she's drugged out on something.
Okay. First off, before you do that, when you do put your hands on her, she does feel a little cooler and like as if losing warmth. But you go ahead and roll a medicine check. I think that'll be appropriate for that.
6.
With a 6, you're not too sure if it could perhaps be that she's just in a weakened state from when you previously was checking her, or perhaps this person known as Phil did something to her. Not really too sure.
Fuck. I'm gonna yell out to Hellscream. Actually, I don't think I know his name, so I'm just like, "Hurry up here now! I need your help!"
At this point, he's already rushing up there. Hellscream, as you enter, you scan around, dark, but enough to see the shadowy forms of the person, of your new acquaintance you just met. You could see May as she's a four corner on top of a bed, pretty much attending to Brayna. And right in front of you, you could see the unconscious form of Eugenia.
So as I walk into the room, I ask her, "Where's Phil?"
He turned into mist.
Mist, you say?
Yes,
I mean,
mist. He had glowing red eyes. He said that Victor was like his henchman, trying to get the heat off of him. Apparently, he's the mastermind of all of this, and he turned into mist. And there's something wrong with Brayna.
Hearing that, I unsheathed my my sword, and May, take the girl.
I sheathe my sword and I pick up Brayna. I'm carrying her in my arms. Like her head's over my shoulder. And
Okay.
like my
Yeah,
arms
she
big.
just flops over your shoulder as you grab her, really weak, still seemingly unconscious.
And I'm gonna get closer to Hellscream.
Okay. As you do so, you could see a faint flash coming from the window, the nearby window, assuming that the storm is carrying on. At this point, where you are in the second floor, in the second tier, you can hear the rain intensifying at this point. And at this point, Meliodas, you're walking up the stairs. And you can hear the commotion
in the bedroom.
Yeah, you can hear the commotion up ahead from the open door.
So, like, as soon as I get to the door, I'm gonna put my back next to it and just do like a just to see what's in there.
Like a quick peek.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a perception check. I mean, at the front, so the first room when you get on top of the stairs, there's really nobody there. So you just look at it real quick. Don't even roll perception. but it's dim enough for you to see if maybe perhaps there's someone there. But you hear voices coming from, of course, your fellow companion Hellscream that you've grown accustomed to. So you know his voice as he was speaking with May in the next room.
So I creep up to the next room and I do another, just to be sure.
Yeah, just you see May. It looks like she's carrying something, and Hellscream just kind of at a defensive stance.
I'm just gonna call out to Hellscream. You alright, everybody? She's still in here.
After hearing that, I actually shout out, "Defend the girl!"
Will do, buddy. So, is there any other rooms in the house?
Looks like there's just a small, it's cramped space. So it's only the foyer room that you entered originally from the steps, and then this what looks like a master bedroom that ends at the window, like as if coming to the front of the practice.
So I'm just gonna say casually, so explain to me what happened here. It seems like you had more fun than I did.
Now is not the time for that. Where the fuck have you been?
Getting some fish.
It takes you that long to get fish. Look,
Yes,
forget
ma'am.
about the fish. Phil? Just keep an eye out for Phil or glowing red eyes. Or mist. If you see mist, just be on the lookout.
Phil. Alright. Phil, glowing mist, and red eyes. Got it.
May, at this point, you start feeling warmness kind of gathering on your, kind of like on your chest and seeping down to your, down to your belly.
Oh man.
You
That
got
guy's
pissed
a
off.
perv.
That's Can I tell if it's from her leg that I bandaged up? Or can I tell exactly where the source of this wetness is coming from?
Is it coming from her midsection?
Oh my gosh. I'm just going
no.
to pull her
He
down a
doesn't
little
check
bit,
her back.
and I'm going to run my other hand underneath her shirt, just trying to feel where I'm assuming she's injured at.
Yeah, at this point you put your hand underneath her shirt and you feel the laceration that was left behind on her midsection. This time from not clean as you've encountered or was encountered from the first body that Meliodas and Hellscream had found. This time more of a visceral opening, as if just ripped out. As you feel around, the blood kind of just starts pouring from her midsection.
You guys, she's oh my gosh. He did something to her. She's bleeding out bad. We have to do something here.
Is that-
I
Oh, go
know
ahead.
that medical supplies are downstairs, like all of it?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. You know, whatever he used for his practice was in the first floor.
We have to get downstairs. I've got to do something to patch her up. She's gonna die on us. She's losing so much blood.
I'll go get it. So I run downstairs.
Yeah.
Do I find it?
Let's see. You find some tools.
Just like looking at. Oh.
You're not really too familiar. You have a. Are you proficient in medicine?
Nope.
Make an intelligence check.
Does that work for
make an investigation check with that too.
Does that work for you?
Okay, so with that, you're pretty much looking around. You're not sure what you should be getting, but at least you're looking in certain places, and as you're looking at that, yeah, I hear the echo too. As you're looking at all the different various instruments and perhaps some certain potus that are laying around, you find you roughly found a bandage. You find what looks like some sort of cutting tool, like some sort of scalpel, I'd say. And then you find you find maybe a small vial of red liquid.
So I take all of that, and then some, and run back up the stairs.
Okay.
And then I go towards her and just sprawl it on the bed. This is what I could find.
Can you light up? Can you light up? Just give me some sort of light in here. I need to see what I'm working with, and I'm gonna lay her back down on the bed, and kind of pull open her shirt so I could see about mending her.
Does Jill still have my hooded lantern?
I don't know. I'm assuming you probably took it back from her since it's not like she can hide it.
Yeah, I take it back. So I'm gonna light the hooded lantern, set it on the table, and then assist May.
Okay. Man, what is all that echo? Is that you, Miguel? God, you're killing me, man. Killing me, Smalls.
What? How is it me?
I'm just blaming you for nothing, man. Yeah, so you light up the lantern. You see now you can see the her wounds as you can see the gash, almost like in a claw-like manner, like as if something clawed through her midsection, in a ripping manner.
Was it the same as the body we found?
Well, the other body that you found was more of a clean cut.
It's clean.
Could I tell if anything was removed from her?
Go ahead and roll a medicine check at this point where you can actually see.
24.
Oh, there you go.
Shit.
God
Yeah.
damn. In the past, you've seen when certain creatures were gouged and eviscerated by others, as predators, I would say. This is a sight similar, almost in nature, whereas a vicious predator would just tear into their prey. Almost gives you the chills, as if you feel very much in the same nature that her wound looks like. It pretty much as if feeding on her.
Okay.
But as you're looking at it, you can tell she's missing what looks like at least one organ that looks torn, and around her kidney section.
I am going to try with the stuff that he's given me. I'm going to pull out my herbalism kit as well and just start working on fixing the organ that looks torn and trying to stop the bleeding and trying to do my best to fix her up.
Okay. With that, I'm going to ask you to roll a separate medicine check just to see if you're pretty much handling with the actually, yeah, with you're basically
19.
handling 19, handling all your all the tools and you said you had a with the herbalist kit you had you what it comes with? I'm trying to figure out what does it come with again.
Like a pestle and mortar.
Yeah,
I think I
yeah.
can make salves.
Right.
There's some solutions and stuff in there.
Gathered
Herbs.
with the gathered stuff that Meliodas had retrieved. You figure you make not just a salve, but what you come to realize what he gave you was a healing potion of sorts, a small one. As you take that and mix it with salves that you actually carry with you, and doing so, you spread it across and start bandaging the area as much as you can to stop the bleeding, which looks like it's holding up at this point. But she still looks faint. Like she doesn't look as she's coming to at this point.
As I'm doing this, I just tell the other two, I'm like, can you guys check on her mother, please? I hope she's not deceased or anything happening to her as well.
Speaking of which, I didn't follow them downstairs.
I think we're upstairs.
Yeah, everybody's still upstairs.
Oh,
Only
everybody's
person that
still
went
upstairs?
downstairs was Meliodas, and he came back.
Okay.
You said,
I was asking the guys, because I don't know their names, to check
Right,
on
okay.
Eugenia.
So I'm still at the doorway with my weapon drawn, kind of still in that defensive position.
okay.
Am I noticing anything weird in the room?
Let's roll a perception check. At this point, you can see the actual details of the room as far as
Yeah, I don't know shit.
not before.
Four.
As far as before in the dim light, you really couldn't see much what was going on. Yeah, your eyes, as you're scanning about, you don't spot anything unusual. Besides the fact that you see Eugenia on the floor, unconscious.
So I slowly start making my way towards, but cautiously.
Okay.
Right behind him.
I tell Meliodas to kind of take a step back and just don't stay at the doorway. Keep your eyes on May and me at the same time.
Got it.
So you reach her unconscious form. You go ahead, check if she's alive. She feels warm. Go and roll a medicine check. It's
That's a 7.
hard to find a pulse. As you
Got big fingers, apparently.
Can I check around the room to see if I see that mist or some glowing red eyes?
go ahead and roll a investigation check. Just looking around, looking about.
A 2.
A 2.
I see nothing.
I would like to try.
I'm assuming at this point everyone's kind of looking about. So yeah, you can go ahead and just kind of scan about too. Yeah, so a 2 you didn't see anything unusual. A 14, as you're looking about, your eyes are just scanning about, and this silver-like residue catches your attention as you scanning about. You notice that there's like a silver I'd say a secretion of sorts that is kind of on on part of the wall next to the door.
I'm gonna look at it closely and kind of try to like touch it.
Man, you gonna touch with your fingers? Don't
With-
you know the rules?
I don't have any gloves on.
Where's your gloves?
I don't even have gloves. I don't even
have gloves. All right. So yeah, so you're just there. You're just touching it at this point. That's what you're doing.
It's like,
Okay,
what
just wanna
is
make sure.
this?
Yeah, you just touch it. It almost kind of like a very gooey substance, kind of like when you touch like clay, almost, but more on the wet side.
Does it lead anywhere, or is this to that one spot?
You just see kind of like it's not like kind of spreading across. It's kind of like it's almost like if you were to take paint and like just kind of throw it on the wall, sort of almost. It's just spread in that one section as of now. But as you look about, you do notice it. It was like next to the bed as well, where May had found Brena.
So it's right next to the door. And it doesn't lead out of the room. It just stops right there.
You just where you saw it was at the door, right next to the door, basically on the wall, and then some of it was kind of like it looks like some of this silver residue was on some of the covers of the bed as well.
So I kind of like say to May, you said he turned into mist and disappeared, huh?
Yeah, the room was dark. So when I entered, there was piercing, glowing red eyes, and then his form turned into Phil from what we saw earlier, and then turned into mist.
You think he's still in the room?
I don't know. Probably.
Then forgive me for what I'm about to do. He takes out his water skin, pops the cork, and just splashes over everywhere. Yeah, you like water, huh? Take that.
I'm just kind of like really confused. Like,
It's an old pirate shirt. No, I'm just trying to get a reaction. I'm listening the whole time.
Let's go ahead and roll perception check.
Please be good.
It's time that you just take time as everybody's kind of looking at each other at this point, and just like listening as everybody's eyes kind of like meet each other.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of like blown away by like how smart this lazy man was for a second.
This dead silence is only broken by the patters of like the rain as it hits the surface above the roof.
do I have anything in my kit that could be used as smelling salts to wake up Eugenia?
Yeah, I would say so. Actually, do you have a medical pouch or medic's kit?
No,
That's the only place I'd say you would definitely find that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think. I wouldn't say herbalist kit would. Yeah, I wouldn't say they would have something similar to that in that nature.
I go, hey, big guy. I don't even know what your name is. What's your name? And I tell you that. Like, I'm May, and I know we got on the wrong footing, but what is your name? Because I don't want to just say, hey, guy.
While still on guard, he looks at her and says, I'm Hellscream.
Can you smack her something to wake her ass up? Because we really need her help here. We need to get out of here.
Wait, hold on. You're giving permission to smack a little girl. I've always wanted to do that.
Not the little... Oh my god.
Oh, the
Not
woman.
injured child. The woman, her mother.
Even I look at Meliodas like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
And I look to Meliodas.
Disregard that.
Did you tell me your name, Meliodas?
No.
Okay, and I'm like, okay, what is your name? I'm May.
Melio-
You are.
Meliodas, or you can call me Otis.
Okay. Hellscream, wake her ass up. We need to get the hell out of here.
Alright, so I woke up to whatever the hell their name is. I'm bad with names. Damn it, so much to keep up with.
The mother?
The mother.
Eugenia?
Yeah, and still at the ready, like I kind of like kick her.
All right. So
Not hard.
Just slapped her.
You like kick her or you nudge her?
Like I nudgingly kick her.
Okay.
Oh.
So you're like
Like I press my
half-ass,
foot against. Yeah, I press
like a
my foot
half-ass
against.
Spartan kicker.
Not Spartan kick. Like so, I put my foot against her and just keep like
Okay. Yeah.
nudging.
All right. Yeah. She you see her kind of move for a quick second. You see her kind of frown her brows as she reaches towards her head, and she starts moving in a manner of where she's kind of looks at a very dazed condition.
She's alive.
My God. Like, I guess I don't even know. Everybody just came rushing in. I think I heard Eugenia's name. I'm like, you need to get up, Eugenia. We need to get out of here. Get on your feet. Let's go. We got danger. Up.
Something just hit me. I blacked out. Where's Brina?
Kind of like to scare her to get her moving. I'm like, she's seriously injured. She's downstairs.
What? She's looks about. Brina? Where is she? And
Hurry!
She's looking around. May, you're still in the room with her, right?
Yeah, Brina's on the bed.
Yeah, she's just
And
looking about.
I'm sitting on the bed with her, like, still checking on her and stuff.
And she at this point just gets up really wearily and starts heading towards you, stumbling.
I assist her as she gets up.
What happened? What? And she starts like almost at this point you can see her eyes start building tears as she's unsure of what just happened.
I'm going to get up in front of her and slap her across the face.
Brina, or the...
Damn.
No, to Eugenia.
Okay, Eugenia, you slap her, and she looks at you, just dumbfounded. What is wrong with you? My daughter.
Okay, you don't understand the situation, and I understand you got knocked out. Phil is some sort of demon. Your daughter's seriously injured. We need to get the hell out of here. Now, we could have left your ass here. Now, go.
Demon?
And I'm going to pick up Brina and carry her in my arms.
And she follows you, holding her face, trying to figure out what's happening, and you can tell that the concerned look that she has. At this point, Theo, Jillian, and Mechanicus, what are you guys are doing on your side?
Mechanicus is making his way up the stairs to go to bed because it's way past his bedtime.
So Mechanicus is going night-night, basically. That's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, he's just making his way up the stairs
Okay.
slowly.
or as you do so, where you could see your room number at this point, and you pulled out the key. That's totally not what I want to put on. And Theo?
He went upstairs after the whole, he's kind of just waiting for the next day. Actually, he probably would look around to see how Hellscream or Meliodas is doing, but seeing that they're not around since he got a room,
Okay.
he probably would check. He probably would head out.
All right, so you're pretty much heading out to the other. You go into the shop basically to the practice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Jillian.
Jillian is debating if she wants to go to bed, pickpocket, or bring her sister some food. But she's gonna probably go on to bed.
Okay. So.
She's gonna get a separate room from Grandpa by herself. It's her own room.
With her new money.
No worries.
So yeah, you go up to the barkeep. Now that the craziness and of what just transpired in the tavern kind of subsides, you go to the barkeep as he's managing things at this point, and he pretty much attends to your request for a room, which is going to be.
I thought you were gonna say needs.
Which is he spatters back. It's 15 copper for that.
I slapped that on the table.
Okay, and as you do so, he gives you a key. Just a little word of in advance. There's no refunds. If you come back down here complaining on the noise, you won't get your money back.
She's just like, yeah. And walks up the stairs to go to bed.
Okay, and as you do so, Theo, you arrive at the front of the practice, and you see pretty much this same visual of it, as if something had transpired. We see the window bashed in, and at this point, May, Hellscream, and Meliodas are descending down the stairs, and followed by Eugenia, as you could see them kind of walking through.
My goodness, what happened here?
It was Phil.
You had one job.
I just straight up walked past him.
I look to Theo and I'm like, do you know where my Mechanicus is? Please tell me you know where he went, because we need his help.
He's in the inn. He just probably to bed.
Do you know what room number?
Yes, 3. Room 3.
Oh, okay. Where's the inn? Can you lead the way? We have to hurry, fast.
Follow me.
And he leads him back towards the tent.
I as we're walking, like looking to Hellscream, like, Hellscream, do you see mist, red eyes, Phil anywhere?
It's almost like it's a quick look around. Like I want to kind of like look again. Do I have to roll check?
Yeah, if you're doing perception check, just kind of looking around, you can go ahead and roll perception check. But
12.
as you do so, you looking about. At this point, you guys, I'm sure you're carrying that lantern with you. You don't really notice anything. You do notice just the immediate mess that was left behind in the fray of combat that you, May, and Victor had left behind. As you can see, Victor's limped corpse basically just impaled through the hand on the floor.
I look at man. It's not like he can hide forever. And while doing so, I pull my my blood moon off from his hand.
Okay.
Am I able to grab my dart that I threw? Do I see it?
Through the mess, it would definitely take some time to go through the wreckage.
Okay, yeah, I'm not worried about that. I do want to make sure before I leave, because I already packed up my herbalist kit, I'm going to grab my journal that I left by the door.
Okay. And as you do so, I'm assuming the rest of you follow and make your way towards the tavern.
Yep.
Towards the inn. And of course, May, for the first time, you're seeing the semi-chaotic nature of this inn, where you can see the festive nature, basically, of all the sailors partake throughout the night. At this point, it's starting to get towards, I'd say, about 10 o'clock. Some of them are starting to disperse. It's not as crowded as it had been like an hour ago. But it's still lively compared to most inns that you've all pretty much attended to.
I am following right up behind Theo.
Okay.
It's right this way, and beware of the mice.
As you're passing by, the barkeep just kind of looks towards you, May, and as you're carrying Brayna, and he kind of walks towards you hastily a little bit. Well. We're not bringing any dead females in. Look, I got an establishment here. We're not bringing that in here.
I cut him off and say, she's not dead, but this no longer concerns you. And I slap like 2 silver into his hand.
Look at mate. I appreciate the offer, but there is a healer right across. If
And
she's
the
not
healer-
dead, perhaps you might take it up with him and she can probably be
I was
fixed
like,
overnight.
I tell him, if you would like, you can go find him yourself.
Your healer's a damn murderer. He's the one that's murdered the girls that have been missing in your town.
I kind of
Shit.
stop her in her tracks and say, you've already said too much.
I'm gonna start trying to make my way towards wherever my Canicus is.
He just
Dr.
stays
Sim?
there.
Is
He
it
starts
murder?
staring into space, kind of dumbfounded by the news.
Where is he again?
Theo is
Just keep
dumbfounded
leading the
too.
way.
I can't believe what just happened. This way.
I'm just shoving Theo. Like, where is my Canicus?
I said room 3 upstairs.
Fine. And I just shove past
believe-
Theo and go up to room 3.
All right, yeah, you just there. As soon as you go up the stairs, you see just some of the sailors kind of fraternizing with the local barmaids around. But you find the room with this pretty sturdy door. Each room is just large numbers with anchors right underneath them.
I get to 3 and I start kicking the door. Mechanicus, open up!
Doom, doom, doom. As you hear that, Mechanicus, don't know if you know what, Mechanicus? Why don't you roll a perception check to see if your old ass hears it?
Get your old ass up!
The first one, you wait after you kick the door. And there's no response, as Mechanicus is still in deep sleep.
No problem.
Is the door... You said the door's sturdy, huh?
It looks pretty sturdy.
Do I see any of the other guys with me?
I don't know. Did anybody else follow me?
I followed, of course.
I'm at the bar. Shh.
I'm like, can you pop this door open or something? I don't... I'll help you try to knock this door out or whatever, but we need it there.
I look at the door. Is it a lock I could pick?
There is a lock that you can pick. There's a knob, and right above the knob there's a keyhole.
I have a key. I try to use my own key. That's for key 5. Room
Yeah, you
5.
put the key in there. Looks like it fits, but when you turn it, nothing really happens.
Okay. With my Tinker's kit, could I mess around with the?
I mean, it'd take you a better half of an hour or so if you were to attempt to do that with a Tinker's kit.
All right. I just knock on really hard.
Okay, go ahead and roll another perception check, Mechanicus.
Do I have disadvantage because I'm asleep?
Make it harder on yourself. Why not?
Sure, why not? Hey, you know what?
16.
So, finally, you hear the faint banging, as if memories of a kid being harassed by people just knocking on your door when you were younger just kind of pops into your mind.
Yes, what is it?
Open the damn door!
It's not locked.
I was gonna say too, his senile ass probably forgot to lock it.
Turn the knob.
In utter disbelief, I grab the door handle and turn it.
It was unlocked the whole time.
And I push open the door.
So, as the door opens, because it wasn't locked, you see Mechanicus getting out of bed, and he's naked.
Oh god.
He's got like saggy skin all over the place, and his balls hang to his knees as he stands up.
Reminds me
Put
of
some damn clothes on!
Adam Sandler and
Oh man.
Happy Gilmore. Old balls.
He turns around like to the bed, like trying to get his clothes to put them on, and when he does, you see 2 bruised handprints, one on each butt cheek. And he starts getting dressed. What is the meaning of this? What do you need?
Get your kit! I need your help. She's still hurt. Tell me more about that Wendigo thingy that you were mentioning earlier in the healer's facility.
It is nothing but a fairy tale. At this point, he's got his pants on and he's like tying the drawstring, and he's like hobbling over to the desk. On the desk, you can see there's a thick book. It's probably about this thick, and it's opened up. And there's a quill and some ink next to it, and you can see kind of like the page has been half written on. Next to that, he grabs his bag, opens it up, reaches in and pulls out a small pack and starts flipping it open. As he does so, you see like all kinds of like salves and bandages and stuff inside of it. What is the problem?
That healer just gorged into her. Something, I did the best I could. He ruined some sort of organ in her next to her kidney. And I did the best that I could, but I just remembered you had this. Anything else to help her? She's kind of cold. It's really loopy. She lost a lot of blood. And as you can see, like, her shirt and stuff is covered in blood.
And so is yours, as you had her, as you were carrying her.
Oh yeah, so it's me and my shirt.
And I'm sorry. And then you see Eugenia as she was following as well, and she's looking at you, Mechanicus, and she's telling her, it's like, just eyes watery at this point, tears as you see them kind of dropping. Please help her. I don't know what I would do if I lose her. Please.
He looks to May. Put the child on the bed and get rid of that woman there. She's going to give me a headache while I work.
I look to Eugene. I'm like, just sit in the corner and be quiet. And first of all, shut the door. We don't need anybody else coming in here. And just be quiet and let us work on your daughter.
And she hurries over to the door and shuts it. And she goes back, kind of hovering behind Mechanicus at this point, trying to see what he's doing.
I go back over and pull her to the corner of the room. Like,
who's in the room with us?
I think Theo's in there with us and Eugenia.
Okay. So, Mechanicus, having the child laid out, just looks back, making sure everybody's settled in the room, and he like slowly opens your shirt. And y'all had bandaged it some, correct?
Yes, I used some healing potion and salves to work on the organs and her wounds on her stomach.
All right. First thing he does is he's gonna like open her eyes and see if like her like pupils dilate with the candlelight or whatever. He's gonna check her pulse on her neck and on her wrists, and then he's gonna start pulling the bandages off until like it feels like maybe there's it gets to one that if he pulls it off, he thinks he'll remove the clot, and at that point he's gonna start applying fresh bandages to it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a medicine check with advantage.
I was gonna say, can I help him do this?
Yeah. So yeah, just roll an advantage since you're getting help with May. So yeah, as you do so, you pretty much take the bandage in a manner of preserving what clot and salves May had used prior to arriving here. Pretty much arriving, showing you the girl.
I mean, what condition do I feel like she's in?
When you're looking at her, you see her eyes slightly, I'd say, in a faint dilation. It doesn't. The responsiveness is not as conducive and as much as you would hope for, I should say. You notice she's definitely more in a sweat, May. As you've brought her from here, even though she is mostly wet, due to the fact that you went through the storm when you crossed the street or crossed the road. But you also notice that she still looks really pale. And
Does it feel like she still has a fever?
The fever looks like it's not there anymore. She feels a little. She still feels cool, like cooler than she should.
he's gonna turn around and see Theo in the room. You, go downstairs and get some alcohol. I need it to clean the wound.
Don't worry, old man. You're not fooling me. Do your art. Help the girl.
I don't have nothing to help her with. Does mending work on people?
No, it does not.
I want to see. I want to do an insight on him to see if I trust him.
What is it you're seeking and trusting him with?
I want to see if he's a good man or not. Like, is he really out for? Do I feel like he's out to help people and stuff, or do I feel like he's trying to trap me to get me to do something so he can kill me?
I'd say at this point, Theo, Miguel, when you what vibe you'd say you're probably giving off at this point?
That's my role. If that help.
It's a good roll.
My vibe is well, basically I don't think I'm looking at him dreadfully or anything. I'm kind of just kind of smiling, and I'm more interested in the girl being helped than anything.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's.
So I trust that he's being sincere. Like he's not going to use this to come after me.
He believes.
Or is that what I would?
What you can tell, he believes that you can help him, and he doesn't. From the vibe, you're not too sure. No, put it this way. And from the vibe, you know that his best intentions right now is for the girl.
So, Mechanicus just kind of closes his eyes, realizing that, the shows or the, I guess he's busted. Rupert, bring me my book now. So when he says that, you see the journal on the table lift up and slowly get carried toward Mechanicus. As it gets there, he kind of bumps through it a little bit, looks down, and I'm going to cast Detect Magic to see if she's under any kind of spell or there's some kind of curse or something marking her. It's a first level, so I know that's going to do a surge. But I'll take that surge because we don't have time for me to do a ritual.
Yay, it's the first one.
All right.
Is there a save for it?
Go ahead and roll a Constitution save.
Oh yeah.
You have to be.
It's gonna be good.
You have to be. It's a first level spell, right?
Yeah.
I believe it's a 2 or 3. Wow.
All right. Good.
You passed it.
Well, I'm only half awake. So I'm casting Detect Magic, which will make anything magical glow blue that I can see for 10 minutes. And I'm basically at this point, he's pulling the bandages off the girl and inspecting the wound to see if she's there's any kind of hint of magic. Maybe you said it was ribs. So is there skin cells or something left from where this thing attacked her? Maybe that, anything magical?
A couple of things in this situation catches your attention. First of all, there's as you're looking about, you notice that there's a faint glow actually throughout her body. Not as intense as you normally would see. I say the nature of the Arcana arts throughout the practice. It's definitely not as intensifyingly as far as like glowing wise as where you're looking at. But there's a faint glow coming through her, for sure.
Can I tell what kind of magic it is?
It's maybe a hint of more so of a curse, and it appears to be necrotic.
Seeing this Mechanicus kind of gasps. It appears she has a curse. Let me see. Does it seem like this curse is affecting the wound from healing or causing it to like bleed more?
No, not that you can tell.
All right. I'm gonna Mechanicus kind of waves his hands and mutters something and snaps his fingers, and I'm doing prestidigitation to clean the area around the wound.
Okay. As you do so, and you see everyone around you just see this sparkling visage just kind of coat the surrounding of where Mechanicus is right now, and this sparkling effect kind of fades as it floats up.
Fascinating.
Is there any spots that are bleeding really bad?
Besides her torso, no.
So the torso's still bleeding pretty profusely?
Yeah, it seemed to hold when you first arrived, but it looks as though it needs tending to again. While you're doing all this and you're looking about, you do notice a faint glow coming from Theo. As you glanced at him, it looks like this kind of like an oval shape that he's kind of like hidden within his tunic or clothing as such.
Okay. Mechanicus doesn't say nothing about that. Now, I don't know if you're going to allow this, but where it's bleeding, can I use prestidigitation to make sparks happen to try to cauterize it?
I mean, you can start a fire with prestidigitation. I'd say, not enough. But there is a small, fire within the room, and there are fireplace. How you say the pokers? God, I can't remember the damn
instruments. Poker.
Yeah, it's like the. Oh God, I can't even.
Yeah, it's shaped like this.
Yeah.
Stokes.
Yep.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. It's kind of like next to the this small fireplace that you're in.
He just looks back and points. Rupert, bring to that now.
Rupert kind of just solemnly goes towards it. He gives you the cold iron casted poker.
And he's gonna like hold it over the fire, and then can I like make the fire bigger?
I'd say with prestidigitation you could see it like grow a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that till it's really hot, and then I'm gonna reach into my pack and I'm gonna pull out that little piece of wood that I had broke off of the thing when we were escaping.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in her mouth, clamp it shut, and I'm gonna burn that fucking wound to try to cauterize the bleeding.
All right. Yeah. As you do so, you pull the poker out from the fireplace. Eugenia starts gasping as you do so. She goes, "What are you doing?" And you go ahead and put the poker right over the wounds as you hear Brayna just whimpers in this muffled screech
Theo consoles Eugenia.
After doing that, he's gonna again and mutter something under his breath and prestidigitation to clean where like the skin is actually like the burnt charred pieces to make that clean off. And then he's going to use his medicine kit and start bandaging it. Did you get that alcohol that I asked for?
I'm here.
Get the alcohol, boy, now!
All right.
Eugenia just kind of sits, like slumps in the corner of her room, just kind of silent tears, just bawling.
Can
While,
I check
Theo-
the pulse of Brayna?
Yeah, go ahead. At this point, whatever you guys roll for medicine check, and originally with that 16, since you guys are pretty much doing it together, but you do feel her pulse. It still feels kind of faint, not as strong when you originally, as originally when you first found her on the bed.
He's going to get the bandages and then put clean bandages on her. Rob me the pillows, hurry. And he's going to take the pillows, and knowing she's lost blood, he's going to prop her feet up so they're elevated above her heart so that the blood will drain from her legs, basically, and like give her a higher blood pressure in her heart so she'll have more blood in her core, basically by taking it from her extremities, and he's going to do the same thing with her arms.
All right. You just see the color slowly fade back into her face. As she's laying in the on the bed, you see the sweat, the beads of sweat start kind of subsiding slightly as you wait patiently looking at her.
Mechanicus kind of just like plops down into the chair next to her, and like while he always looks tired and ragged, like he looks extremely tired and ragged, basically using magic's like drawing from him, and it's wearing him out.
Is there like a water bowl dish type deal that has like the little pitcher you pour water in to wash your hands and stuff? Is that something in this room that they have?
I'd say there's certain utensils you can tell that there's a bowl. As you look at the water, you're not sure how long ago has it been changed though.
Okay.
The bowl's kind of small. It's not too big either. It's about about a foot in diameter.
I'm gonna dump the water out on the floor and take the sheets and just kind of wipe the bowl down, making sure there's no like algae or mold on it. And I'm gonna take my water skin and just dump all my water out into it.
Okay.
And I'm just going to rip a part of the bed sheets up and just kind of like wet down her forehead and her face, just so trying to help her out a little.
Okay. Yeah, you see her. At this point, the color returns to her, and you feel as you're looking at her, she's definitely turned for the better. Even her breathing seems to become more of a normal rhythm as you kind of see her move about slightly, still unconscious, but as you look at her, you feel like she's gonna turn for the better at this point. Like there's hope.
I look over to Gina and walk towards her, and I lend her my hand so she could get up. Like, your spot should be beside your daughter now. I think we've got her stabled enough that she'll probably pull through this.
she silently just walks towards her, lays by her side, and you can see tears slightly kind of just still coming down as she's closed her eyes, laying next to her.
Mechanicus, what did your Wendigo look like? Did they have glowing red eyes and turn into mist?
Do I know that?
You don't know much of this folklore creature, but from what you've read, you know that the creature generically always had a stag-like description for the most part, as if having a head of a large deer, but at the same time, from what you read, it almost had features as if it had gray skin, as like from similar to those of corpse that have been in graves for some time. As the description follows, it always had this rotting stench as well.
All right. Mechanicus just slowly shakes his head. Nothing but legend and tales. From what I've read, there's been sometimes they say it smells of death.
Can you turn down your music because it's like blaring?
Get some headphones, man.
Shit. Man, the things I could do with that mouth. That was for you, Ray. Yeah. So he, Mechanicus looks over, and he starts putting on like his shirt and the rest of his clothes. According to legend, sometimes they smell of death and have a pale complexion. There's also many references to that of a stag. Perhaps they have a deer head or antlers. I never really understood.
Do you?
I will say that the wounds that she have is consistent. You see, because the next body part that they were going to be seeking would have been the heart.
Why the heart? Why are just these random pieces of body parts from each child?
Do I know why they go for them 3 particular body parts?
Yeah, you know it as the legend. Legend has it that they rely on these particular organs from legends, say, to sustain them for a number of years before they go pretty much in hibernation before they come back.
It has to do with the regenerative properties of those parts. You see, they need them to survive. Without them, they would waste away into every so often, according to legend, of course, they have to come out and feed.
Well, legends come from some sort of truth. I mean, fairy tales have a beginning, just embellished.
He looks to you, slowly nods. That is very true. But sometimes they come from crazy old men. And he just winks at you.
Well, what I saw, we saw the person that we were looking for, Victor, and he was deformed looking. And then Phil, the healer, thought he was normal till we went to check on him, and I don't know what he is. If he's not exactly as you describe as a Wendigo, do you know anything that would have glowing red eyes and turning into mist? Like, I don't even know if that's his true form as Phil. or if he's like some sort of doppelganger and took the shape of him.
Do I know of any other creature that, I mean, other than like demons, devils, and
You're muted.
Sorry. Nothing that immediately comes to your attention. There's perhaps many different folklore, fairy tales or tales indicating where a creature would definitely assume the appearance of those they have killed. For one, certain fairy tales indicate certain fairies would do such things, but nothing really hits home with what you've read.
Was there any kind of tales like that in the monastery?
The monastery, you can go ahead because I know they deal with a lot of history stuff too. Go ahead and roll history on your part.
A 2.
Yeah, nothing that comes to mind.
so my mechanic is like, you can see him sitting there thinking, out of everything that I've read in the libraries, nothing would meet that description. But you see him kind of stiffen a bit. From personal experience, there is one thing that I know. It would meet that description perfectly. Ida, my mother-in-law, well, ex-mother-in-law, the woman was crazy.
I brought the alcohol, but I don't think you really need it.
Oh, yes. Mechanicus reaches out for it.
What did I miss?
Well, you missed out on the part that Phil is not who he says he is. Victor did show up and he's dead. And we're trying to figure out what Phil is. Maybe you can enlighten us. Maybe you might have heard something of a thing with glowing red eyes and turning into mist.
Sounds like something that should be shot.
I would agree, but I don't know if this thing could be shot.
Only one way to find out.
Mechanicus takes the alcohol from Theo. And what is it, just like a shot?
I gave you a rag soaked with alcohol.
Alright. He goes over to the girl, kind of feels her and stuff. And wakes the mom up. Or just kind of pushes on her. I'm going to leave this on the stand by the bed. What you need to do, in about an hour, remove the dressing from the wound and clean it with this, and then apply these bandages. And whenever he says that, he pulls some bandages out of his healer's kit and lays them on the stand next to the bed as well. And then he just turns around and he starts gathering his things out of the room.
Mechanicus, don't leave just yet. I kind of need your help fixing me up a bit.
He turns to May and you're just like bruised up, huh?
I'm assuming that I've gotten cut up with glass pieces and stuff like that.
Alright, he walks over, touches your forehead, and checks to make sure you've not got a fever. And he takes your hand and leads you over to the chair that he had been sitting on. He looks to you. Now, I need you to remove your shirt so that we can bandage your ribs and look at these cuts.
She takes off her shirt. She has wrappings around her chest, and you're going to see like old deep scars on her chest and stomach area and stuff.
It seems this would be a common occurrence.
Some of these are kind of what I've earned through my time in the monastery, but others, I really don't remember where I got these.
As she says that, Mike Canicus looks back toward Theo. Says, it seems we would all have secrets to reveal today. And then he turns around to face May, and he takes out some bandages and some salves and starts putting the salves on the cuts and then bandaging them.
Theo raises his eyebrow.
As you tend to her wounds, we're going to go towards Hellscream Meliodas. Jillian, she's sleeping? That's what's happening?
Oh yeah, she's cracked the window, made a nice draft, she's in bed, she can't hear shit, she's out.
She's got a true long rest.
Meliodas and Hellscream, you guys are pretty much at the bar at this point, at the tavern. At this bar stool, or you guys?
Yeah, just at the counter.
Okay,
sitting down.
Yeah, as you there, you notice at this point, as another hour or so had passed by, the tavern at this point, you notice, is definitely subsiding as far as the festivities, and you could tell all the sailors at this point are making their way in order to prepare themselves for the following morning to come.
Is that all?
Yeah, I mean, it's just you see it's still fairly not as there's nowhere near as many people, but there's definitely some patrons within that are still kind of hanging about, while you two are pretty much at the bar stool. The barkeep is still tending to this scattered patrons that are still requesting service at this point, as he's looking at you two at this point. So, I could tell you guys are not from around here.
Looks to Hellscream.
You could say that.
What makes you come here? For them, perhaps seeking new ventures, because most people don't really take a liking to venture seekers.
Yeah, wherever the money takes us, wherever the fish is kind of where we go.
Huh. It's a life I used to live back when I was a wee sailor myself.
You don't say.
Yeah, part of one of those clans, actually. I used to run my own business at one point until, well, when the two families took over.
Sorry, did you say the two families?
Yeah. You don't know the two rival families here in Holmesfirth?
I'm not aware of them. Kind of new to the area.
Well, if I can pull up the shit that I have, I could probably tell you. It's like... yeah, totally unprepared.
So as he's recollecting his thoughts, I kind of lean over towards Hellscream. So this guy just disappeared out of nowhere, did he? Red eyes, mist.
Yeah, it seems so. It's kind of bad, because I'm kind of hungry at the moment. And if I'm not mistaken, I left fish over there at the physician's place.
Soaked fish. As the tavern, the barkeep hears that, and you know what? This stuff has been laying around. Actually, we have two of cooked fish that was never actually claimed, so it's been out for a little bit. It's not as hot as you might like.
Hellscream's eyes widened.
And he brings the two plates and just leaves it there for you guys. I guess it's on the house, since nobody is gonna eat it.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Finally.
Fish.
Well, back to the two families. There's
As he's talking, I kind of cut a small piece, but I in my mask to like
shoving,
like
scooping it. Well, the two families pretty much make the biggest clans here, which controls the fishing trade in Holmesfirth. The Castaldi and the De Leon family. A feud, basically. It's lasted for about better of 6 decades. Still continues in the manner of who controls what, actually. From each
Did I spell that correctly, by the way? Just before you continue.
From each ship, hold on 1 second. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It still continues in the manner of who controls what for each ship's allotted catch, exporting privileges, and most importantly, the territories on the scrimmaging seas. That's all clans are permitted to fish on, basically, which is distributed, as you would say, evenly. Most folks either work for one of the families or they try their luck with a smaller clan. There's a bigger reward if you're a sailor that goes off for a smaller clan. But, as the catch can go directly to the ship and its mates instead of going to, a small cut and mostly to the family. But, there's always that risk, big reward and all. It'd be lethal if you get into confrontation with one of the family ships on open seas. So, I say I cut my losses and figured don't want to be a dead man on the waters. So, I opened up this place. This hunk of junk became my inspiration for tavern.
Quite the establishment you have here, I must say.
It's very nice.
I take pride in that. I appreciate the compliments.
By the way, how long have you been in this village?
It's no village, this is, man. It's a town, a growing town, that is. Well, it used to be a village. I'd say for the better of 12 years or so.
12 years, huh? So you would say that you know the shopkeepers around here, am I right?
Fair share of them.
So you know anything about Phil? Do you? Any strange habits? Any awkwardness?
Oh, besides patching up some of the drunken sailors that come through here, nothing much. But that I've only passed by his practice only once. Had migraines at one point through my sailing career. Usually I dealt with surgeons on the ship, but whenever I'm on land, he's really never bothered to mingle with him, I should say. But from what I know, he's been here for quite some time, longer than I have.
Do you know any of his contacts, his affiliates?
Contacts? No.
Did he work more or less for said family?
Well, the families have their own practitioners, I should say. Phil was more of the commoners folk, I should say. We tend to more of the less fortunate, those who didn't have money and couldn't afford things.
Eats his fish. Just thinking.
Well, it's kind of if you say what's true, all that kidnapping the past couple of months, we have had 2 or 3 girls gone missing, and if he's behind it, that's some sneaky stuff there. Did you catch him?
Well, my friend can tell you more. I showed up too late.
Sadly, he got away.
That's a shame. Last thing we want is worrying about some crazy medical practitioner going around and snatching children.
Say, I got a question for you. How many times a month does this sort of thing happen?
Well, this just happened recently, actually. Not within the 12 years. I don't think I could remember a spree of kidnappings as such.
Any big changes within the town within the last month?
Well, there's always changes through this town, and you see we have a fair amount of trade passing by here. You get a lot of strange folk. Sometimes in this, tavern we have different sailors from all over. We get folk like you, actually, as he looks at Meliodas. We get some folks from the islands.
He kind of like dodges the question. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure you don't. We'll just keep that to myself then, right? Listen,
Yes.
if you guys looking for a room, we still have 2 more available. I don't know if maybe you guys want to keep separate rooms, or you guys probably mingle a little differently than others, as he's kind of looking at both of you.
I look at Meliodas and then I look at the.
Wanking.
What does he mean?
He wants us to sleep in an enclosed space.
I look at the barkeep and would you mind if I just pitched a tent out back?
That's at your own risk, mate.
Is it still raining outside?
as you look at the window, it's starting to look as though it's not as a downpour. It looks like it's subsiding somewhat.
Meliodas looks to Hellscream. I have an idea, but just don't tell Theo.
Okay.
You see, this might involve Jillian, whether she likes it or not, but we need to lure him back out. You get what I'm saying?
So room 5 it is, I guess.
Well, I didn't mean now. I mean like later on in the week or something.
Oh, okay.
But we gotta trick her. And as I stole the coin pouch, I noticed like that 3 silver missing. Like when I went to go put my stuff in, counted everything.
I mean, yeah, you definitely notice you're a little light. It's definitely noticeable.
So I look at Meliodas. I was like, "Does your coin purse feel a little light too?"
Yes, deception roll. No, I never lie to him. Actually, he holds it up, and it's like fatter.
Good job. Did Theo ever give you his cut? Give you the cut from our earnings?
No, actually, should ask him about it.
Should
Is the bartender like listening?
No, he's at this point kind of he's kind of like just wiping, cleaning glass, doing a bartender thing.
So what do you think about the idea?
Sounds good to me.
Should we let the others know?
Yeah. I guess we'll keep it between us 3 for now.
3?
Can't leave Theo out of it.
But he gets so cranky.
This is true. But he'll know sooner or later.
Alright, but don't tell him till it's too late.
As you guys
Actually, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was like, well, I don't think we have to pay for a room. Can't we just sneak into Theo's room and just make our beds there?
Well, the last time things didn't go well. You can. I'll be outside.
Don't think I'll be able to get in by myself without making a ruckus.
That's correct. How about I unlock the door for you and then I go outside?
You and the outside. I get it. When I have a little bit of shits and giggles.
Alright. Are you... Thea's awake right now, right?
I believe he went to his room to sleep, but I don't know if he went to bed already. Theo, are you still awake?
Yeah, I'm awake. Yeah, I went back to my room just to kind of settle for the night.
Okay. Yeah, as you went in there, you noticed there's a small fireplace, not lit, but you can tell it's been used recently. There's a small little nightstand, and there's it looks like there's a book that was left behind. Talks about music. As you're looking at it, looks strongly woven, has like some holes on the spine, but there's some, as you flip through it, you can tell it's some writers talking about the history of certain types of music that that in more of the older periods of nobility that was more popular in within among the nobles, I should say.
Among where?
Among the nobles, like among nobility. That and from your background, you have an understanding somewhat of what they speak of.
Mm-hmm. So when I look at the book, is there a chapter in the Sunade Empire?
It looks like they've gathered information from different regions, parts of the Lothesian, even parts from the islands, and parts even from the northern. I can't even think. The Gregarian kingdom as well. Very very small footnotes about the empire though. And the way it reads, it almost reads kind of like a journal-like manner.
Is it? Oh, so that's the perspective of many writers journaling their experiences and their interpretations of the music.
Yeah, it's a journal-like. Different writers and journal-like writing, basically.
Do I feel like this book belongs to the room, or is it kind of like someone left it?
From your experience going from tavern and inns, you never find material like this.
So I'll look in the front and the back cover, see if there's any like names belonging to someone.
And it looks a little on the faded side, as you see, like I was saying, some kind of holes and torn parts from it as well. It doesn't really specify any authors' names or memoirs of individuals in any nature.
What's the official title of the book?
You can't even tell. It looks like it had some sort of writing in it, but it looks like it faded over time. It gives the appearance that the book might be a little older than you'd expect a book of this nature to be just placed here.
Okay. I looked through it a little bit, and while I'm laying down and getting ready to bed, and when I finish kind of looking through it, I put it in my belongings. I'd like to take it to look into, study it more.
All right. And as you look through the book and read through it, kind of flip through the pages, you notice the subsiding of the rain as you can hear the pattering, like the rhythm kind of slowly lower in tempo as you hear all the drops fall above you on the roof of the room, basically. And the slight visual representation of like the moon starts kind of fading through from your window as the rain starts to subside. And we're gonna end tonight's session at this portion right here.
Everybody's sleeping. Wait. I didn't break into his room.
That's how we start off next session.
That's how we start off next session. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
To be continued.
Like I'm like falling asleep and